What's up, milkers? Welcome back to another week, another episode, another podcast. This is a very special one, but we'll get to that in just a moment. The beer this week is Pumpking. This is an Imperial Pumpkin Ale brought to us by the good people of Southern Tier Brewing Co. of Lakewood, New York. Made with loads of pumpkin puree and pie spices, this beer is definitely liquid pumpkin pie. The best part is that I have personally aged this beer for one whole year here in the studio, which has unlocked a whole new flavor profile. It has an ABV of 8.6% and a Comcast rating of 4.5 out of 5. As always, please drink responsibly. Welcome to the show, everyone. Now let's get into it. 'Twas merely just 3 short years ago, almost to the day in fact, when a young man, who you may know, was sitting in his living room enjoying a nice cold beverage and taking a long puff from his tobacco pipe. Then suddenly, an idea struck him. That idea was a death match. A death match to end all death matches. And thus, as the story goes, the first Comcast Halloween Deathmatch was born! And so, my dear friends, the rest, as they say, is history.
Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
But the creeper was stirring outside your house.
Yeah.
I don't like where this is going. Excuse me, god damn.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Comcast. As always, I am your amazing, sexy, glorious host, Ryan, and joining me, as always, is Cody, and special guest, not Cheyenne. She decided to opt out because she got tired of the hate, so whatever. Special guest, Jeffrey!
Hey, how's it going, y'all? Thanks for having me on the show.
Not a problem.
Welcome to the show, Jeffrey the Fave, a.k.a. Moose. Moose! That's it. That's all. That's all that needs to be said.
Awesome.
Moose. Yeah.
I'm very glad to be the arbiter for your tournament of, how would you describe them? Halloween villains, evil people?
Spooky tomfoolery.
Yeah. Celebrity deathmatch, but scarier.
Yeah.
Okay.
The plastic surgery is real.
Well, I'm very excited to participate in this. It's been a pleasure sharing drinks with you previously. I'm glad we could get together to do the same and cherish exactly why we love these spooky villains so much.
Yes. Super excited to have you guys. Welcome to the 3rd year in a row. I hope you all like my impromptu introduction. I'm pretty proud of it, if I do say so myself.
It was shit.
Well, I thought it was nice. where was yours?
Don't need one.
Okay.
But it is that time once again, folks. It is the annual Halloween Deathmatch episode, arguably our most fuck around fun time episode of the entire year. It's the 3rd year in a row. If you haven't listened to any of the others, please go back. If this is your first time listening, go back to the 2 previous years. The episodes are labeled Halloween Deathmatch. Go check those out. It is by far probably one of the most fun times we've ever had on this show.
It's our best episodes. I don't listen to the episodes, but I have listened to them multiple times. And I laugh my ass off.
We don't censor our burps on the show.
That's fine. I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yes. It is definitely going to happen.
Yep.
Carbonated beverages all around.
We don't censor burps or farts. So
no, we don't.
Because I would listen to the last episode. I listened to the last fucking episode, and you were getting right. You had some character. I don't remember what happened. They're like, all right. You're like, all right. So Freddy, right? And then you just farted, and I was like, so apparently Freddy just farted. No, so not a big deal.
We've actually gotten compliments on like comments and stuff like that people enjoy that we're just unadulterated and unapologetic and burp and fart on the episodes.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah. So we've had that compliment in the past, and we're just going to keep it going.
Real.
Why would we not want to be ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Exactly. All right. Without further ado, let's get into this bracket. We've got 24 creatures of the night, monsters, characters, whatever you want to call them, historically, comedy, all the way from murder, all the way from Tim Burton, all the way from just any faceted horror-style movie that you can think of. We have a solid 24 character lineup. The same bracket as usual. I have changed a few things up a bit. I have actually randomly generated the brackets. In the past, it has taken up a little bit too much time.
Pre-planning.
Yeah, so I have I created an intro. I pre-planned the bracket. I'm on my A game right now.
Effort.
Yeah. So I'm on my A game right now. So in the past, it's taken up a little bit too much time. However, we are here and we are prepared and we are ready to fucking go. So I have another random generator with just Ryan and mine's name on it. And we'll just run through the bracket as is. And are you ready to spout all the bullshit you can think of in your fucking brain?
I was fucking born ready.
Let me say this. I want a good fight. No foreign words, no foreign objects.
Good.
Let's do this.
What's a foreign word?
I guess I'll have to put my hairbrush away.
As long as it's in the dictionary, it's not a foreign word.
The dictionary is ever expanding, so.
Yeah.
Yes. Facts.
All right, the first lineup we have here is Ted Bundy versus Pennywise.
Oh, wow. 2 heavy hitters right off the bat.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'd say they're all pretty heavy.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
In mass and
Mhm.
killer count.
Exactly.
So who's here?
So,
I think that's what we're doing.
who would you like in the matchup? Pennywise or Ted Bundy?
I don't know. I guess I thought we were going to do you did it and then I get to pick.
Okay.
If I won.
Okay. we'll
And
do
if
that
you
then.
won, you get to pick. And
That
then-
works. That works too. All right. Spin the wheel of inevitability. 50% possible. And the winner is Ryan.
So what is it? Ted Bundy or...
Pennywise.
Ooh. Pennywise. OG.
All right.
OG thuggin'.
You get the first draw.
Yeah.
You get the first draw.
All right.
I won.
All right. All right.
So tell me why Ted Bundy, Cody.
Tell me what why Ted Bundy? Ryan actually picked Ted Bundy.
Tedward.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Good old Tedward. Tedward and Fredward coming up.
So I'm going to try to essentially make this story to where Ted Bundy basically murders Pennywise or sends him to the hospital or something. He just can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
So that is my main goal. And
And that's
Ryan's
the whole thing
main goal.
is it's 1v1.
Mhm.
So Ted Bundy, Pennywise,
You should remember who you have.
in a field, basically
Yeah.
1v1.
A field. So this is like Smash Brothers for the modern era.
Yeah,
Basically. And
essentially.
I know Pennywise last time, like, Pennywise is just like a fictional thing. He's more a fear representative, but the actual thing is like the spider in
Save it for your turn, sucker.
the spider in the fucking
All right,
dwelling
all
or
right,
whatever.
all right. Set the scene. So we got Ted Bundy. He's just bebopping around Florida. You know what I mean? He's just hanging
Florida?
around. You know?
Oh, yeah,
yeah. He's just bebopping around Florida, man. Southern Florida. He's just living life on the beach. You know, he didn't actually go to jail. That was a lookalike.
Looking for hussies to kill.
Yep.
Hussies.
Yeah. Trollops, if you will. So he's just bebop around Florida, you know, like Everglades region. He's just hanging out, you know. He's, you know, walking through the park. You know, that's where he started out, just walking through the park. He was like the park rapist or sexual offender, whatever. So he's hanging around in southern Florida, and he walks past this drainage grate, and he hears something, and it's like, hey, come down here. He's like, hey, is this your boat? And he goes, Ted Bundy's like, I ain't got a boat. He's like,
He did, actually.
yeah, he did have a boat. It was
That's what he was known for most of all.
it was a schooner. It was a
Avid nautical specialist Ted Bundy.
He's like, I ain't got a boat. It's at home. And he's like, no, come down here. He's like, we'll all float. We all float down here. He's like, I ain't about that shit, man. I got some girls to kill and shit. He's like, I'm going to go make my way. He's like, no, look, I've got ecstasy. And he's like, oh, Ted Bundy, you know, never, you know, wanted to pass up free ecstasy. So,
Never.
Mongo like candy.
So he reaches for the ecstasy and Pennywise pulls him down into the drain grate and now it's on. You know, 3, 2, 1, ready, go, fight. Ted Bundy's like, hey man, what about that ecstasy? He's like, there's no ecstasy. I'm here to murder you.
Because everybody knows ecstasy is a Florida sweet tart.
Yeah. It's like, I'm here to murder you.
Broward County Tic Tac.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Ted Bundy always carries around his signature ligature. You know, he's always got a rope in his back pocket. You never know when you're going to need it in southern Florida. So he pulls out his rope, does a kickflip, and basically jumps and pounces on the back of Pennywise, takes that ligature and sticks it around Pennywise's neck, basically just strangles him to death, and then he cuts his head off using a rusty tin can that he found in the sewer, because that's where they go. And then he skull fucks Pennywise's head, and then climbs out of the drain, walks away, calls it a night, and then he goes to Florida State University, and that's, we all know the story after that.
Go Knowles!
Yeah. All right. It's Pennywise, right? beat bopping around the sewer.
Beat
Beat bopping around in the sewer.
You're gonna hear beat bopping about 1,000 times today.
Beat bopping around in the sewer, right? Just chilling, minding his own business. He sees a rat. What's up, rat? Just keeps strutting, laughing, singing, whatever the fuck he does, popping bloody balloons. You know, no big deal. You know how he rolls. So yeah, he looks out the sewer and sees old Tedward in a cast. Just trying to strap this boat to his bug, has a little lady. And, you know, Pennywise wants in on that action, so he just kind of pokes his head kind of through the grate, a little sideways, like a cat through a fence. Beat bops his head through a grate. And, you know, I'm not going to do the voice, but I could do the voice. Anyway, he's like, well, hello there. Hey, Teddy. Hey, Teddy. Tedward. What you doing, buddy?
It sounds like Timmy on the South Park.
What you doing, buddy?
I was expecting you sounding like, beat Teddy.
beat Teddy. He's like, what are you doing there? It's like, oh, I'm trying to lure this hooker in my car so I can decapitate.
She was not a hooker.
The proper term is sex worker.
That's a fact. I'm trying to lure this sex worker in my car. No big deal. And I was like, oh, well, why don't you come down here? Got a boat down here. So anyway, Pennywise ends up luring Freddy closer to the sewer, and he leans down to talk to him, and Pennywise has $1, and everybody knows Freddy's cheap. Or not Freddy. Tedward's cheap. Tedward's cheap.
Yeah,
So-
that's what he was known for most of all, actually. he tipped like 5%.
He did. Cheapskate. Anyway, so Tedward wants $1, and Pennywise grabs his arm when he reaches for that $1 and rips it off, and Tedward bleeds out and fucking dies. No boat, one crippled arm, and he's dead. Just like that, because you can't defeat fear, a ghost, inanimate.
Some would argue that Ted Bundy is fear itself.
I said that last year.
So that's all that John F. Kennedy said we have to be afraid of is just Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
I would be.
That's what he was talking about.
Yeah,
Didn't
specifically.
you know Ted Bundy was in the observatory? It was him.
The observatory?
Yeah. He had the gun, man. Pew pew. Pew pew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pew, pew,
It's the book depository.
What'd you say?
It was in the suppository, whatever building
It's
it
the
was.
observatory. This
No,
was a game.
I think
clue.
you got that from Full Metal Jacket. It's in the suppository building, sir.
Well, as someone that's going to be tasked with deciding between these delightful slices of scenery, ultimately, I sort of had a concept in mind, and the first of you to have touched on it was probably going to be the one to win this. But I'm going to hand it to Ryan for grasping that Pennywise cannot just merely be beaten into submission. It takes something larger. Something I'd like to see you all continue to expand on in future rounds. Ted Bundy, very violent man, even he has mortal limits.
Sure
This
does.
is bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, hey, if he had a silver spoon and melted it down, or earrings, or whatever the fuck them kids had, could have got him.
Alright, so Pennywise advances to the next round. Next, we have Freddy Krueger versus Jeepers Creepers.
Ooh.
We spin the wheel of inevitability. Fuck yeah, it's me. And I pick Jeepers Creepers.
Fuck you.
So you, sir, have to start out with Freddy Krueger.
Okay. Okay. So, we all know Jeepers Creepers. We never did figure out how many days it is. Because he's like, I think it's like 27 years for like 27 days, he comes back.
Every 30 summers for 30 days he feeds.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
30 summers for 30
Every
days?
30 summers for 30 days he feeds.
Yes. So, what is he doing for 30 years? Sleeping.
In his impenetrable cocoon.
Doesn't matter. Freddy kills you in your dreams, motherfucker.
Ooh, that's a compelling argument.
It is a compelling argument.
Is that it?
Well, I mean...
Tell a story!
if you sleep for 30 years and he just kills you every single day for 30 years,
So
you're going to be fucked up in the head.
Your point is that basically Freddy has a 29-year and 335-day window.
To fuck with your ass.
Not mine. Sir.
to fuck with Jeepers Creepers' ass.
Yeah, to fuck with Freddy Krueger. Or, yeah,
Jeepers
Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, so that's a compelling argument so far in terms of any time, anywhere, especially considering the paranormal aspect of these two creatures. I think that's really strong. Cody, what's your retort?
Oh, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit ever. Okay.
You invite me on your podcast, I'm going to put you in a losing situation for 2.5 hours.
All right, so you know, Jeepers Creepers, he's just bopping around, you know, Southern Ohio or wherever he hails from.
There's a lot of corn. We know that.
There was.
Yeah, there was a lot of corn.
And a belly button throwing star.
So he's just hanging out in his church, driving his, you know, buggy around, his, like, hell vehicle.
His brown race van.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's just driving around, you know, hanging out, living his life, killing the country folk that drive through that small little town. Just hanging out, you know, doing his thing. Doing his creepy thing. Little does he know, Jeepers Creepers doesn't dream. He's essentially not sleeping. He's in this impenetrable cocoon to rebuttal your story. It's an impenetrable cocoon. Who says that he sleeps? There's no evidence that he sleeps. He's just hibernating.
Ooh, good point.
So, even though he is hibernating in his cocoon for 30 years, it doesn't mean that Freddy Krueger can ever get after him. So, one day Freddy shows up because Freddy, as you know, historically, he has also manifested himself outside of dreams. Mm-hmm. So, you know, one day, Jeepers Creepers kidnaps this person. He doesn't kill him because he's going to, like, cut their skin off and make a belly button belt or whatever the hell he does.
Yeah, that would be the Ed Gein nipple belt.
Yes. So.
Or the skin lamp shades.
Or sorry, he's making another belly button throwing star. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So he's got that victim in his basement of the church, and the victim falls asleep, and Freddy Krueger, what do you know? He shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm here to kill you. And he's like, I'm already dying, dude. Like, this dude's killing me. So Freddy's super pissed.
Hey, neighbor, here to kill you.
So Freddy's super pissed.
Oh, you got me again.
So Freddy's super pissed that he's taking, like, his victims, you know, small town Ohio is, like, super populous area.
There's a lot of victim deserts there.
There is.
Yeah.
So,
and hey, on top of that, don't you know that Jeepers Creepers can smell him with his pussy nose? So smell underage coochie a mile away. I swear to God,
sirs.
So this is gonna be absolutely outrageous. So Freddy's super pissed that he's like taking all of his victims. So he manifests himself as Freddy Krueger in the base. He's in his house. He's in the Creeper's house in his basement, bedroom. Dude's just like trying to hang out and play PlayStation in the bottom of this church and shit. He's just killing his victims. He works with
a youth group for the Jeepers Creepers.
He works with leather.
So Freddy's like, what the fuck, man? So Jeepers Creepers obviously doesn't sleep, doesn't dream. He's basically indestructible. Anything you cut off of him, Freddy tries to slash him a little bit. He just regrows it because he has all the bodies in his basement. All he does is if he cuts off his arm, he just eats another arm and it manifests. Cuts off his head, he just eats another head and it grows right back. You can't kill the Creeper. You can't kill him. So Freddy comes after him. And then the Jeepers Creepers basically just, because Freddy has manifested itself in his outside world, he's not in the dream world anymore, he's more vulnerable. So Jeepers Creepers basically takes advantage of that and uses his bat wings to fly over Freddy and then rip his freaking head off. And then he sets the entire church on fire and then he just drives on the road and finds another abandoned church.
Well, no, that didn't work with Jason, though. Jason got Freddy's head off, too, and he winked at the end of the movie.
But
that's called capitalism.
Yes.
Timing. But he set the whole church on fire because everybody knows Freddy's allergic to fire. So
super allergic.
So
allergic to fire, he's a burn victim. Let's have some empathy here, people.
Yeah, rips his head off.
People hurt people.
Lights the church on fire, packs up his PlayStation and a couple of his victims, and he just moves on down the road to the next abandoned church, which is like 5 miles away. So yeah, he fights to see another day. Freddy's dead, and yeah, that's about it.
So this is where I sort of betray myself, because in the last answer I said was looking for more in terms of like the supernatural realm and how that affected the contest.
Right.
But I think Jeepers Creepers has a pretty foolproof thing in that he is not in like restful human REM sleep. Is it, not to assume the pronouns, he, it, them, they, of the Jeeper Creeper. But I assume that Freddy Krueger could not get the job done against something like that, particularly if it's not human.
Right.
So the further in, I don't know, Freddy Krueger does seem like your typical Southern Ohio dad. But I don't think that he could defeat Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, I also don't think Freddy would really find it fun. Remember, he's out to terrorize teenagers. What good is torturing another elderly villain?
Exactly.
To this, I go with the Jeepers Creepers. Cody, you get a point.
Boom.
Well, you get a point.
Suck it.
I'm not sure if you're keeping points. We're just in it for the tournament's sake.
We're in it for the tournament.
And then we remember who we had last.
Okay.
Write like a little initial set by who we had, because I'm not going to remember.
No, we're not going to do. We're just going to draw every round.
Oh.
No round's the same.
Okay.
Cool. All right, next round we have Alien versus...
AKA Xenomorph.
Alien versus the Gordon's Fisherman.
Oh, fuck.
What the hell?
The Gordon's Fisherman.
The fates have decided that a
I know
man...
the Gordon's Fisherman, that's what I call him because I can never remember his name, from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, okay. I thought
Not
we
the fish stick guy.
That's what you were thinking.
I was thinking literally, like, yeah, no,
The
it's just a Gordon
Yeah.
Fisherman. And I was so prepared because my best friend Nash Hott, when we were living together, remarked once after seeing a Gordon's Fisherman commercial, I wouldn't trust the Gordon Fisherman as far as I could throw him. So I was prepared to have judgment. Regardless, yes, I'm aware of who you're thinking of.
Yes.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, the Gordon's Fisherman.
Yes.
I've said it 8 different
That
ways.
was a... Because you picked that the first year, too. And you're like, no, not the fish stick guy. From I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Exactly.
Just an old man with a hook.
The Gordon's
So-
Fisherman.
I've spun the wheel of inevitability, and the winner is me again.
Spin it again, I can't see it.
No, bullshit.
I
don't
can
care.
see it just fine.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
So,
Yes.
and I pick... You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to pick the Gordon's Fisherman
God, you're fucking dead.
versus Alien.
On it.
That's a bold pick.
It is a bold
Yeah.
pick.
I tread...
One of them is from outer space, and you picked the other one.
Yeah, I tread
You picked the
dangerously.
human Paddington Bear. With a fucking fish hook.
All right. Let's hear it.
Alrighty then. So, fucking alien, right? Xenomorph. Crazy ass fucking thing, alright? Got a mouth. Inside, another mouth.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Every episode of this podcast, I've spit something
Right.
out.
And it protrudes out like a hard dick, right? Okay? Puncture ability, like...
With teeth.
Punch through the predator's helmet into a skull, okay?
Just the one.
Yeah, the one time is all it takes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking xenomorphs be taking Viagra for real. Anyway, so the alien,
He's bebopping around Maryland.
he just beat bopping around Maryland.
Why the DMV? Why the East Coast?
Honestly, the Gordon Fisherman could be technically anywhere, but was it in Maine where
It's
like
gotta be a coastal state.
it does have to be a coastal state?
Feed it to me.
That's fine. Okay, so
He's on the
xenomorph.
water.
So
on the
alien.
water.
So the alien, global warming, not a thing. Alien frozen in an iceberg, right? Comes to Maine, kind of cycles down to Maine. It gets warmer.
The fucking woolly mammoth?
No, it's an alien frozen in ice. Okay, so comes to Maine, right? Gets a little warmer.
I thought you said succumbs to me.
Yeah, he succumbs to
It kills him.
He
That's
had-
it. Go on.
He let his nose get too cold.
Shellfish allergy.
Yeah. Please continue, Ryan.
Okay, so iceberg gets closer to Maine, gets a little warmer, starts melting. Right? It's like dinosaur in ice, kind of alien in ice. Xenomorph frozen in ice. It ends up getting warmer, he breaks through. Who's on the dock just fixing his little boat? Gordon's Fisherman. Xenomorph jumps from the iceberg onto the dock. 1v1. Gordon Fisherman pulls out a fish hook and is ready for battle. The next thing you know, the alien fucking jukes right, jukes left, and comes up, jumps on the Gordon Fisherman, and fucking dick mouths his forehead, and he's dead. That's it.
Alright.
Fucking human Paddington Bear is no more KO'd. Done.
Alright. So, the Gordon's Fisherman, just hanging around Maryland, Maine, wherever the hell he is, coastal town, bebopping. He's a hard motherfucker. He's a sailor. Everybody knows sailors are hard as fuck. You ever seen freaking Deadliest Catch? Yeah.
No.
He's the untold hero of that show.
Will you close those
Yeah.
blinds?
You don't like the sun in your eyes?
No, definitely
The
not.
only sun we've had all day.
Oh, that's all.
So he's just hanging out on the coast, you know, being a sailor, doing what he does, killing teenagers in his free time on Saturday nights. The story is old as time. So he's hanging out, and all of a sudden he hears about, you know, some other kids got killed, you know, last summer that he didn't kill. And he's like, what the fuck? So he's like, next summer, it's on. So he hears about another kid getting killed this current summer, and he's like, what the fuck, I gotta investigate this. And turns out there's an alien in the town, and he's living in the basement playing PlayStation over church.
He just changes jobs and becomes a private eye.
Yeah.
Who's killing these kids?
So he goes and investigates. He finds the alien just playing PlayStation in the basement of the old abandoned church.
Of course he is. Yeah.
You know, they hang out there. With Jeepers Creepers. So they're just playing Call of Duty. But
on PlayStation 1.
So he comes upon him and he's like, "Hey man, you're killing my kids." And and the alien just like spits some bullshit mumbo jumbo out of his fucking tiny mouth inside of his other mouth. He doesn't understand him. It doesn't matter. He's a sailor. He speaks one language, the sea. That's all that matters. And the alien doesn't speak that language. So he's like, "I don't like you." He's like, "Get out of my town." The alien is like, "Ah, blah, blah, blah," which means no or whatever. And so he's like, "You're out of this town." He goes, "No," or whatever. And then so they decide to fight to the death to see who stays in the town and kills all the teenagers every other summer. So the alien starts attacking the Gordon's Fisherman. Everybody knows Gordon's Fisherman. He's got that meat hook or whatever the fuck he's got.
No, it looks like a cat. I pulled up the Wikipedia page for what is called the Fisherman Killer.
Is it like a full setup, kind of like leather bound?
Yeah. For context here, is a black trench coat, black boots, black hat, black pants, all black everything, black gloves, and what looks like a Captain Hook fish hook.
Yep.
But it's got the little harangue so you can hold it in the palm of your hand.
Gotcha.
So he takes his fish hook.
A lame Assassin's Creed.
Takes his fish hook and he's swiping at the alien. Alien's dodging it because alien's very agile.
Like a cat.
So he decides to go ahead and flee. He's going to lure the alien into a trap. So he flees back to the coast, back to his ship, the safety of his ship. That's where he knows that all of his other gadgets are at, all of his other tools of implementation for murder. So he takes him back to the coast, back to the shoreline, back to his boat. He grabs some more tools, grabs another fish hook. So now he's dual-wielding fish hooks. The alien's trying to get him. They're on the dock. And all of a sudden, the alien goes for him. He dodges it, swipes him with the fish hook, which is just enough to throw the alien off balance, and then he kicks him into the bay. Well, everybody knows aliens can't swim.
I think that is a fact.
So
that's what they're known for most of all, actually.
Not swimming.
that was the plot of the movie Signs. They hate water.
Yeah. So everybody knows alien can't swim, kicks him into the bay. It's just deep enough that the alien can't come out, and he slowly drowns. And then the Gordon's Fisherman goes back into his boat, hangs his fish hooks up, hangs his trench coat up, takes his boot off, pops open his microwave.
His one boot?
Yeah, boots off, pops open his microwave, and heats up a nice plate of Gordon's Fisherman fish sticks. And enjoys a nice sitcom of I Know What You Did Last Summer. And that's the end.
I'm surprised it wasn't Friends.
It's actually, I Think You Should Know What I Did Last Summer. It's a difficult decision, but not necessarily. It's difficult to hit you with this information. I'm going to hit it to you like a sandwich compliment, as when you have to tell a student that they kind of missed, but you need it to be affirming. You put a lot of color into your story, Cody. I really appreciate it. You lost me when the fisherman asked the alien politely to leave town.
He should have said, "Get."
Bro, there's only one town big enough.
Hey, will you leave?
He's from outer space. He can be wherever he wants.
Hey, will you leave town? No. Whatever the fuck he says.
I really think you gave the better effort of the two, but in terms of the raw rules of Celebrity Deathmatch, I think the alien just absolutely destroys this mortal fisherman, this pervert in a rubber robe. Captain Hook.
This black Trojan condom.
If we had, he is a body prophylactic, actually. Yeah,
for sure.
He is a hisectomy.
Slippery when wet.
Yeah, for our pleasure. Anyway, I got to give it to Ryan.
He's a human Ugg boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
Hooked for our pleasure.
All right, whatever. The next one I am probably the most excited for out of all these matchups.
Cocaine.
We have the cocaine bear
Yes!
versus the angry molesting tree.
Yes!
The angry molesting.
Do you know about the angry molesting
So
tree?
If I say yes, is this a bad thing?
So-
No, it's not.
So the angry molesting tree.
But you look behind you.
So the angry molesting tree is originally from Evil Dead.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah.
However, it is
I
also,
remember this.
It is also a character on Cabin in the Woods.
It is also in The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. So I spin the wheel of inevitability.
But we're going mainly Cabin in the Woods theme.
Sure. All right, you pick.
Yes. Cocaine bear.
All right, I pick angry molesting tree. Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so excited. This is the best one I heard.
So, angry molesting tree, he's just hanging out in the woods, beat bopping around in the woods.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Just hanging out. He's, doing his thing, molesting, kids as they, walk by, because that's what he does. He's a tree, and he molests people.
Chilling in the field, right?
Yeah, he's just, tongue-punching hikers as they go by,
You used my legal name on the podcast, just so you know. Go on.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna listen to it.
It's alright. Our name's posted all over this shit.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Go on.
I take credit for all 199 episodes.
All right, and go on with your sexual assault plan.
He's a molesting tree. Everybody knows the definition of molest is to bother.
It seems like you've rehearsed it.
This is the third year. We know what we're talking about.
Okay.
So, third year appearance for Angry Molesting Tree. So, he's hanging out, doing his thing in the woods. He starts to hear, some moaning and groaning, and this bear pops up, holding a giant bag of cocaine. Nose covered in powder, all kinds of crazy shit. I've seen the movie. That's what happens. The bear's all hopped up on cocaine. He's like, oh, there's a tree there. Oh, that's weird. So
Conscious thought.
Yeah. So the tree's like, what the fuck's this bear doing? Why is he high on cocaine? And so the bear just walks up to the tree, and he's gonna do the bear scratch and scratch his back all over it, and, basically be all sexual because he's on cocaine.
He is.
And
Itchy.
or she, actually, it's a girl in the movie.
Is it?
It's a girl bear in the movie. So he's just gonna walk up and scratch her back on the tree, be all sexual because cocaine makes you sexual a little bit. So the tree's just hanging out, and bear walks up to the tree, scratches back, and the tree's like, "You don't molest me, I molest you." So
You gonna fuck on me?
so the bear's like, "Huh?" And the tree basically swipes the bear and basically swipes at the bear and hits it, and it goes rolling off into the dirt. Bear gets up. It's pissed now. It's on cocaine. It's mad. It's not sexy anymore. It's not sexy time. It's angry time for the cocaine bear. Bear runs to the tree. Tree swipes at it again. I mean, it's a tree. It's a tree, a solid wood tree versus a bear. The bear tries clawing it and climbing up of it, but it's a tree. It doesn't bleed. It's just a living, fictional, molesting being.
I don't even
in
know.
the woods.
I don't even know if we ever figured out why it is what it is. I don't know if we ever figured that out.
Well, welcome to the concept of abstract horror.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the fight continues. The bear takes a couple swipes at it, scratches the bark, but like I said, it's a tree. It doesn't do much damage. The tree eventually grabs the bear, picks it up with its branches, its very long, strong, muscular branches, and takes its branch and shoves it through the open mouth of the bear as it's growling at it, and basically punctures its insides. Bear dies, drops the bear, steals the bear's cocaine. It does a little bit. It gets a little sexy tree time, and then it just goes off on its daily routine, being a molesting tree. The end.
Chilling.
Bebopping.
Bebopping.
A lot of
Bebopping.
bebopping.
So, what's worse than a bear? A bear on cocaine. For sure. So, a bear, right?
This guy's spitting facts.
Fuck yeah. So, I compare a giant grizzly bear in your face to herpes in your face, right? But what's worse than a fucking bear? A bear on cocaine.
Okay.
Right? So the bear is...
Sold!
So the bear is just walking through the forest, right? Hasn't found the cocaine yet. It's just walking through the forest. Some DB Cooper looking motherfucker, some cartel guy, fucking has a parachute hanging from a tree. What's on the ground? Bag of cocaine. Bear starts clawing at the cocaine, doesn't know what it is, thinks it's food, thinks it's like a, confectioning sugar, but it's not, it's cocaine. Starts eating it and smelling it. Now the bear's on cocaine. Starts running through the woods going crazy. Finds this tree. And sees this tree, and this tree is just kind of fucking doing a hula dance, to fucking techno or something. And so, like the hula girl on the dashboard. Yeah. So sees this tree. It turns out to be the angry molesting tree. What's the angry molesting tree do? Fucking poke at you, and its branches are covered in shit. Okay, it's a molesting tree. So the molesting tree is like, "Yo, get off my property,
get off my roots, bro."
Get off. And the bear is like, "Oh fuck no, this guy wants to tango." It still has some cocaine on its nose. Kind of does like a little lip lick. Gets fucking energized like the bunny. And fucking goes apeshit on this molesting tree because it keeps fucking like poking it and trying to pick it up and shit. The bear is not smart. It's just a bear. It goes off instinct. So it sees this tree. It goes up. It starts scratching at it and clawing at it. The angry molesting tree keeps batting at it and picking it up and throwing it or just fucking with it. But the only thing the bear can reach that the molesting tree is a little short on is its roots. What keeps a tree alive? Roots. So the bear starts digging at the roots, digging up underground, trying to get to its roots, and just starts ripping it to pieces. Finally, it stands up tall and pushes the tree over and falls down. And the bear has won. The angry molesting tree is just flopping like a fish out of water. Can't do nothing, can't pick itself back up, can't do anything like that. And then eventually, the tree will die. And the bear kind of just sprints away because it's hopped up on coke and, finds a baby to eat.
This is the new advertisement for Cocaine Bear meets Paul Bunyan.
Yeah. That'd be great. Oh boy, so I was working through this on before I get into it, y'all had some real lurid, sexualized
It's a molesting tree.
yes. I even feel guilty saying molesting tree. It's a tree that molests. It is not a word of dejection. That is literally what it does.
It's the name.
I have to decide. I decided ultimately, kind of, which would win, a normal bear or a normal tree. Well, I know a tree can fall and kill a bear, but I don't think a bear could dig up an entire tree. Maybe I don't know enough about bears.
But
maybe
also,
the Chicago Bears have ruined it for me.
So I know that in Cabin in the Woods, the tree actually wasn't in soil. So like in Cabin in the Woods, it was basically a system of elevators that had all of these monsters in Cabin in the Woods.
But we're also basing it off of our story setting as well.
Right, true. But the tree was actually not in the ground. It was basically walking and could walk and grab people and basically rip them apart in half in Cabin in the Woods.
Okay. You know what? I'll pull it all back together here. Spent a good deal of time in the late night service industry, which means I've met a lot of people on cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to manage a lot of people on cocaine, and while the narrative of Cocaine Bear is that it's lost its mind, there is a good deal of people on cocaine that just want affirmation of how well they look, how good they are, how rich they are. I think it would be really easy for a persuasive tree, for lack of a better word, to put that bear in a compromised position. So I think I might actually have to pick the tree on this one.
It's a shame. I hate to see Cocaine Bear go down, but it is what it is.
This is the first time the Angry Blessing Tree has ever made it to the second round. And I'm very happy.
Are you disappointed with me as host?
No, not at all.
Cool.
Not yet. I was pumped. I feel like if the Cocaine Bear had like any other shot with like a regular human, it probably could have made it to the fucking like at least like Final Four maybe.
Now if it was like Ted Bundy versus Cocaine Bear,
not a question.
Fuck yeah. Stick or not, Cocaine Bear.
I'm talking about that baby from Ghostbusters. Like that bear is gonna win 1,000 times out of 500
for sure.
But the fun is creating the plot.
Yes.
Now, the next round we have is Oogie Boogie versus zombies. And by zombies, there is only 3.
Okay.
There are only 3. Why am I like this?
And I win that one, so I'm going to go with Oogie Boogie.
Fuck.
Give me your story, Mr. Zombie Man.
So zombies bebopping around, just chilling, eating brains. fuck, I don't know how I can win this one.
Okay. Getting brains.
It's part of the fun.
So zombies just chilling, right? Bebopping around, you know, they, I think there actually maybe there's not zombies in actual, like...
Yeah, there's zombies in
Is there
Tim
zombies?
Burton's. Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
So zombies, right?
I mean, that's what Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas
Technically,
was.
yeah.
There's also that other guy with like the axe in his head.
Yeah.
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 So let's just combine them, and let's say they're already in the same realm.
Yeah.
That makes it easy.
So 3 zombies. I'm just regular zombies. Yeah, they're like medium speed. Let's just say. So they're medium speed zombies. You know, Oogie Boogie called one of their moms fat.
Yeah.
And is just, they are not having it, and they're a crew. There's only 3 zombies over here chilling in the same fucking Crips gang. We're just hanging out.
Rip zombies.
Yeah. You know, gangsters. And they're used to the hood because they died and got there for a reason. So they're used to, you know, people calling their moms fat, and then they fucking bop, cap them. So
they're
anyway.
not used to doing the dozens.
So, yeah, they meet up with Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie crosses their path, and he ends up calling one of their moms fat. And you know, they're a crew; they don't take no shit. Zombies don't take no shit.
There's only 3.
And
that's a very important disclaimer.
Yep. So they ended up getting beef with Oogie Boogie, and Oogie Boogie, you know, all he does is fucking sing songs, and he's not in his house. He has no contraptions, no traps, no levers to pull into like a spinning blade.
So where are they then?
Fucking blender. Just out in the cemetery.
Okay.
Out in the cemetery, Oogie Boogie looking for some fresh dirt to fill his fucking pillowcase with. More bugs to fill his pillowcase with. And, you know, the zombies ain't taking no shit. They fucking kind of medium walk and hunch over to Oogie Boogie, and Oogie Boogie kind of prances like a fucking penguin over to him, and
that was good. He does walk like that.
He does.
Yeah, that was very good.
He kind of fucking sways and waddles over to him like, you know, one of them birds that has the liquid in the bottom, like the fucking...
Yeah.
For the weather. Anyway, so they end up getting in a tussle. Oogie Boogie kind of spins around, does a juke move, like a slow, like... juke move around one of them, gets around him, he's like, tries to reach for him, couldn't grab him. 2 more right behind him. You know, after you're dead, everybody knows that your toenails and your hair keeps growing. All Oogie Boogie is a pillowcase full of bugs. So I was
going to bring that up. Thank you for being transparent.
So one of the zombies actually never clipped his toenails in real life, and never clipped him in death. So one of his toenails gets caught on the pillowcase thread, and just kind of unwounds him, and that's the end of Oogie Boogie. His pillowcase just unfolds, and all the bugs go flying, and they're like, yeah, Crips for real. And then that's the end.
We're going to get letters from the Bloods.
That's okay.
Probably not. They don't listen to the podcast.
They're not real gang members.
Oh, my God. Digging us deep. So I'll bring this up with you, Ryan, since you're going first. What about the henchmen, Lock, Shock, and Barrel?
They're just fucking kids.
Yeah, okay. Well, never mind. Cody, as you were.
Lock, Shock, and Daryl?
Barrel. Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Daryl's the fourth
of his
one.
assistant, the little minions with masks.
I'm guessing Barrel's the fat one.
Daryl's the cousin.
If you want me to look it up, I can.
Yes, Barrel's the fat one, for sure.
I'm not going to. I should ask Google.
With the
which
skull.
was the fat minion from...
Yeah. Lock, Shock is probably the devil. Lock is the witch, and then Barrel is probably the fat skeleton one.
Oh.
Daryl's the cousin that comes around every other Halloween.
For the family reunions.
Yeah,
it does.
I can't figure this out right now, and it's not entirely important. I like to think it's kind of like a, situation where the name applies to all 3 of them at the same time.
Yeah,
for sure.
They are all 3 Lock, Shock,
one
and Barrel.
giant posse.
Yeah. All right, so they all live in the same town. We're in the Nightmare Town, Halloween Town.
Yes.
Whatever. So...
Not Halloween Town.
Is it not Halloween Town?
No. That's a bunch of kids.
Or Halloween World, whatever it is.
Halloween Town was that Disney original movie.
Yeah, they're in the Halloween World, whatever. Tim Burton's Halloween World.
Okay.
So Oogie Boogie's just hanging out and, doing his thing, kidnapping kids and stuff like that, keeping them for ransom or whatever, keeping them in the cage and, doing whatever he does to them, cutting them apart with his little contraptions in his basement of his house, or under the tree, at least. So the zombies are kind of mad because, like, during the off-season Halloween, the people that wander into the Halloween world, the zombies usually eat their brains because it's normal human beings that wander through the forest, come through the tree in the Halloween world, and during the off-season, they don't have any brains. They don't have any people to terrorize. So they're a little bit mad that Oogie Boogie's taking advantage and using lock, shock, and barrel to kidnap these people and take them to his basement so he can mess with them. So the zombies come up and, knock on his tree door, or whatever he lives in the bottom of a tree, basically. Knock on his door, and it's like, hey, you're taking all of our people for our brains. So Oogie Boogie gets mad, and he basically pulls the lever for his trap door. The zombies fall into his basement with all of his, murder contraptions. So Oogie Boogie's like, welcome to my world now, motherfuckers. And he sings a sing-song, and, all the...
I'm the boogeyman.
Yeah, he's the boogeyman.
Wanna fuck some zombies.
Yeah. So Oogie Boogie's doing his sing-song thing. Zombies are in a cage, and he's got that, pot of boiling acid. He's got the freaking, the knights and the kings that shoot guns and everything. So he's just toying with them for a little while. Finishes a song, and then he finishes them off with the spin blades, cuts them up to little pieces. They fall into the vat of acid, brings them back up after they're all dissolved, and then he crushes their bones and then eats them to feed the bugs on his inside. And fun fact, there's no way the zombies could win either way because Oogie Boogie made out of bugs. He has no brains, so it's the only way you could kill him.
Facts.
So he basically tears them apart with all those little contraptions after he hears his sing-song.
But they defeated him in actual movie once they fucking
the zombies are not Jack Skellington.
What did they... I have not seen that movie in 25 years.
So
please remind me how Oogie Boogie is murdered.
So, right, he's just a burlap bag full of fucking bugs.
And he has a snake for the tongue per Wicca.
Yes. And all Jack Skellington had to do was, take one of the threads and hook it onto, one of his spinny devices, and it just unthreaded his whole pillowcase, and then they basically defeated him because all his bugs just separate, and now he's not one complete form anymore.
But we have to keep in mind...
So he's technically not dead, but he is defeated until he can put his ass back together. And
nobody's there.
So Oogie Boogie is really just a giant metaphor for fascism.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Individual citizens through a facade, under a cloth, pulled apart, not necessarily done forever,
right?
But it's our job to keep it separated and nice.
And then at the
end of the Halloween clan.
And then at the end of the movie, Lock, Shock... and then at the end of the movie, Lock, Shock, and Barrel basically say that they're done with him and they're not going to put him back together. And the bugs basically fall through into the vat of acid. So he does theoretically die because the bugs fall into the vat of acid and they die.
Bunch of ungrateful whores. Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Yeah.
That fat kid.
You know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the zombies on this one, Cody. Or Ryan.
What the fuck?
No, I really...
Toenail got the thread, man.
In the sense that, I just don't think Oogie Boogie could unlife... Well, they're already dead. Get rid of a zombie.
Yes.
And I also don't think a zombie necessarily has any interest in Oogie Boogie. It's just bugs. They're made of bugs, kind of.
Yeah.
Can't scare something that's not alive.
Which I think the better Oogie Boogie is technically...
Well, Oogie Boogie killed one of your zombies, so you only have 2 next round. Kidding.
If you'd like to have that policy, I think it's pretty reasonable.
I still have 3.
This is like Civilization 5.
I'm kidding.
Which I think the better Oogie Boogie was... Because we talked about this... I think we talked about this last episode. But I think the better Oogie Boogie was the one from Constantine. He didn't have a pillowcase or anything. He just had a trench coat. Remember?
Yeah.
When Constantine stops at the gas station, and then that bug guy comes and then gets hit by a car, and then he's done.
Yeah.
If we're talking about people made out of bugs, I really would have liked that dude from Men in Black 1.
Oh.
Give me sugar
and
water. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen his appearance.
Yeah, he was more one giant bug.
Yeah.
In a skin suit.
He's a roach.
He was. A giant roach.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, next round.
Can we take a pee break?
Yeah, we'll take a pee break.
Cool. We'll be back. All right, everybody, we're back. Cody has a gift for us. He's being Santa Claus today.
So before we get started with the next round, I have a gift for both of you. So I picked these up at a local craft beer bar last night. I made sure that they were all 16-ounce cans. I don't know what's in them. I bought them for $3 a piece.
Mine has a question mark on it.
They all do.
I'm going to use my knife to open the bag.
What a fucking badass.
So I bought them for $3 a piece. I thought it was a fun little treat for us to have. And I have no idea what's in them.
Ooh, I got an Oktoberfest by Black Dog Brewing Company in Mooresville, Indiana.
I got Stray Thoughts, a double dry hopped Napia.
It's a New England IPA, you fucking duts.
Oops!
I got a Saison, an American-style Saison from Black Dog Brewing.
You know what they say about Christmas? Jesus is the raison for the Saison.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
This art is dope. It's got a snake with a third-eyed bitch and some skulls.
Yeah, I think we all won, but I think Ryan won the most.
I think so, too. I'm extremely jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at it.
That is dope can art.
It is.
Very nice.
This is from Pax Verum?
Oh, shit. You got a Pax Verum can?
Yeah. Did you just, go to somebody and be like,
What's it called?
Pick me 3. Stray Thoughts.
Pax Verum is in LaPel, Indiana. They have a Pizza King.
They are a very, very good... A Pizza King inside of the thing?
No, in LaPel,
Oh,
which
okay.
may as well have been inside the thing.
I forgot to tell you that nostalgia, you would love this nostalgia. When Ryan and I went to Grand Rapids a few weeks ago, they had a Little Caesars with the Little Caesar statue still on the pole. He's like a 10-foot tall Little Caesar statue.
Yeah.
Like, old as can be, like, original building, original
Drove past
statue.
a big boy, too, didn't we?
A Frisch's Big Boy.
There's a lot of Frisch's Big Boys in, like, Ohio, anywhere but Indiana.
Yeah.
But no, it was an authentic Pizza King with this 10-foot tall, or Little Caesars with a 10-foot tall Little Caesar statue on top of a pole.
Yeah. A lot of
It's so
implications there about nobility and royalty in regards to our tomato pies.
Yes. Nothing beats noble Romans back in his day.
Hey, it's part 2 of the podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's all!
It's probably going to be part 3. But
Cheers.
Part 2 of probably 3 or 4.
All right.
Fuck it. Part 9.
All right. Now that we got the gifts out of the way.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
It's not even Christmas.
So, I'm also super excited about this matchup.
Yay.
So the next we have is Jeffrey Dahmer, a.k.a. the Silent Masturbator, against...
The Dick Eater.
Yeah.
That
Against...
dick eating hoe.
Against Sweeney Todd. One of my favorite musicals ever.
Yay.
So, spin the wheel of inevitability. And the winner is... Ryan!
Sweeney Todd or
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, we're going to get into cannibalism, that's for sure.
We are.
You know what they say about cannibalism, the taste varies from person to person.
It does. For sure. It depends if you put them in a pastry or just raw.
Yeah.
Meat pies, get
Yeah.
ya. I've never wanted to meat pie
I
after watching
am-
that movie.
I am going to go with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Thank God, I want Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
All right,
Go ahead, sir.
so here we go. So Sweeney Todd, you know, he's just doing his thing down in downtown Liverpool above the meat pie
Cutting
restaurant.
necks and making pies.
Yep, cutting necks and the occasional shave.
I got my haircut from Sweeney Todd.
He was very good. You should go to him. He
Yeah.
did not charge me.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the Halloween movie is that guy's name is Beetle Bailey. Oh, Beetle Bailey, everybody knows your reputation in town. He goes, oh, thank you, my friend.
That's the thing.
And it's the fucking rat guy from Harry Potter.
But doctor, I am Pagliato. Yeah, I know who the fuck you are.
But that's the thing. Every time you watch that movie, you just keep singing like, "I'll still yell."
I would always sing that shit. It's
Yeah.
so good. So good. I love that movie. So Sweeney Todd, he's just hanging out downtown Liverpool above the meat pie shop. You know, the occasional shave. You know, he runs into somebody unsavory character that he thinks is unsavory. Of course, is just slice their neck, drop them down into the basement. You know, make more meat pies. Got to keep the business going. Got to keep the lights on. You got to shave. You got to keep the lights on for the meat pie manufacturer. The best meat pies in all the London. So he's just hanging out. Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, he's on a vacation in Liverpool, apparently.
Fuck yeah, he is.
Apparently, Jeffrey Dahmer lived in the 1700s.
He needed a vacation.
But in this setting, we're going with that.
Did he live there, or did Sweeney Todd?
No.
Exists.
He comes to Sweeney Todd's house. The house of Todd. So,
On Fleet Street.
on Fleet Street.
Yeah.
So, Jeffrey Dahmer, he comes to Liverpool. He's just hanging out. He's like, oh, I could use a fresh shave. And so he hears about Sweeney Todd's establishment over on Fleet Street above the meat pie restaurant. So he goes up, and Jeffrey Dahmer is like, oh, I'm here for a shave. And he goes, oh, I can help you. Sweeney Todd, he's not planning on killing Jeffrey Dahmer at all. He's like he's new into town. He has no ill will against him. He hasn't done anything wrong to him. He's just planning on giving the guy a shave, paying for it, and leaving. And Jeffrey Dahmer's like, you're pretty attractive, because everybody knows Jeffrey Dahmer is a homosexual. So and also everybody knows Sweeney Todd, heterosexual.
Jeff's like, why'd you bring it up?
Do people know this about me?
No, they don't. I think we've talked about this before. I tell Cody this all the time.
Ryan's favorite memory of you
the
that he
funniest
brings up all the time.
It was. I think it was. It wasn't the first time I met you.
It was like the second time.
Maybe it was, but I don't remember. But the funniest shit that I've ever heard come out of your mouth was you were talking about something. You were talking about checking. We were talking about checking IDs. And you're talking about all the IDs that you checked.
Yeah.
And you were like, you got like a fake ID one time. And you're like, yeah, you got to go to these college kids. And it was like, how pissed off is a college kid that they get turned down from a bar from a homosexual with a
No, yeah, there was some guy that just immediately started calling me like a family bandit and stuff. I'm like, okay, get out of here.
He's like, how pissed off would you be if you got turned down from a bar from a homosexual with a nose ring? And
that's Ryan's favorite
That's
memory.
the only thing that I
like the
really
second time he ever met you.
It was the funniest shit. I laughed so fucking
Thank
hard.
you.
And I think I told my mom about it too. I was like, yeah, we met this guy Jeff. I was like, you remember Jeff? You met him
And
all
then
the
you
time?
met her after that fact.
Yeah, I was
very
like,
sweet
yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
First time I met Jeff, he was like, yeah, you know, homosexual with a nose ring. And I just, oh God, it gets me every time. It's so fucking funny.
Thanks, man. But yeah. So where were we?
So set the scene. Sweeney Todd's just giving him a fresh shave, and Jeffrey Dahmer's like, hey, you're pretty attractive. And Sweeney Todd's like, nah, man, I ain't about that. I'll just give you a shave. And Jeffrey Dahmer just keeps pressing. You know, he was kind of a weirdo. You know, he's been having a few drinks, notorious alcoholic. When the alcohol got the best of him, he just went off the rails, and he would do some weird shit to a lot of people that didn't want weird shit to happen to him. So he just keeps pressing and pressing.
Like dying.
Yeah. So he just keeps pressing.
Anything.
And he's like, look, man, you gotta get out of here.
You want to watch The Exorcist? No. Okay.
Yeah. And he's like, look, man, you gotta get out of here. And so Jeffrey Dahmer's like, no, and he locks the door. And so Sweeney Todd pulls out his razor blade, and then Jeffrey Dahmer pulls out his drill because he never leaves home without it. Making brain zombies and shit.
Yeah,
There's no Visa drill.
Yeah. No electricity.
So never leaves home without it, and they fight to the death. And so Sweeney Todd starts slashing, and Jeffrey Dahmer's trying to drill a hole in his brain so he could, use him as a sex slave later. And then little did Jeffrey Dahmer know, Sweeney Todd knows Krav Maga, Iranian self-defense
Technique.
martial art. So he uses some Krav Maga, does some self-defense techniques, takes his razor blade and slices Jeffrey Dahmer's throat, throws a trapdoor, and makes delicious homosexual meat pies out of him. And he uses the drill to hang up a mirror after that. Brand new mirror.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a story the whole family can get behind.
Facts. All right. So,
This is a family-friendly podcast.
Sweeney Todd, Liverpool, right?
I believe so.
Okay. So, Jeffrey Dahmer, he can travel back in time apparently, and visit Sweeney Todd.
What?
So Jeffrey Dahmer travel back in time.
More like Dahmer who?
You don't have to travel back in time.
So Jeffrey Dahmer,
he's like, got a subdermal screwdriver.
Yeah, so he's got to hold the same time and space.
That's what happens when he switches his. That's what happens when he switches his drill to reverse. He travels back in time.
So anyway, so Jeffrey Dahmer needs a vacation. He's like, "What's my favorite thing? Liver. I'm going to Liverpool." Ends up on Fleet Street, right?
Okay.
He and I'm going off your story pretty much, but he needs a shave. He's looking pretty rough, and he can't get the boys with his rough aesthetic look, because back then you had to be clean shaven and all fresh, and still have pubes, but face had to be all trimmed up and nice. So he needs to
We just
shave.
throw this Easter egg out
So,
here.
and he also, he actually finds out the secret of the meat pies. He actually knows that they're actually people. So he's intrigued. He's like, it's something I love in Liverpool on Fleet Street. I need to shave. Let's go. So he fucking Ubers.
Fun fact, Jeffrey Dahmer loves meat pies.
So he
They're in
Uber.
cream pies.
So he Uber carriages. He Uber carriage.
Time out. The cat has come in to make sure you're not dying.
We're not talking about semen at all.
No, that was about the Gordon's Fisherman earlier.
So he Uber carriages to fucking Uber carriage.
Yeah, they put an umlaut over it.
Yeah, to Sweeney Todd's
Uber.
place. So he finds Sweeney Todd's place. He's like, you know what? I need a shave. I need a pie. He goes and indulges in the pies first, and he's like, you know what? These are pretty good. I need to meet the person who's in charge of this. So he goes upstairs and tries to get a shave. Sweeney Todd starts singing a fucking song, and Jeffrey Dahmer only loves fucking, hairbanger metal and a little dance music, and Sweeney Todd is just singing the god-awfulest shit in the entire world. So Jeffrey Dahmer thinks that Sweeney Todd is kind of sexy with the black hair, the white complexion, even though he was kind of into black guys. He's like, maybe I can turn a corner.
That is true.
Yeah, and get a little, pasty with
This is
this.
a true story. He was
So,
into black guys.
He starts getting a shave and starts being a little perversive to Sweeney Todd, and Sweeney Todd's not into it. But, Jeffrey Dahmer is, who he is. He is, kind of touchy-feely and just keep poking and prodding you until you give in. Sweeney Todd's not giving in. Sweeney Todd has that murderous aspect to him. And Jeffrey Dahmer is like, all right.
He misses his wife.
He's like, all right, let's fucking go. So Jeffrey Dahmer and Sweeney Todd start wrestling. Jeffrey Dahmer extremely strong for what he is. And Sweeney Todd can't handle it. And Jeffrey Dahmer ends up finding some kind of heavy bludgeoning object and hits Sweeney Todd over the head and kind of disables him. And then he turns out this lever in Sweeney Todd's thing, sends him to the basement. So he kind of sets Sweeney Todd up in the chair and sends him to the basement. Jeffrey Dahmer runs down to the basement real quick and does his little torturous aspect. He chops Sweeney Todd's head off and then cuts his dick off and then throws the rest in the fire, puts the dick and the head in a bag, and then heads on his merry way, and Sweeney Todd is no more. Jeffrey Dahmer wins.
Fatality.
Sweeney Todd turns into his own meat pies.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Mortal Kombat was like a dick-eating monster and they had one? It was Jeffrey Dahmer. Be crazy.
This is
Not
tough.
like, but like a dick-eating monster.
This is tough to decide. There are many parallels between the two.
It is a good match.
I already brought up the cannibalism.
Yes.
Then we have the concept of not only subduing a victim to your private abode, office, whatever, but then performing some sort of very almost discreet yet horrifying act with them.
Both
Yeah.
very, very...
And
like-
also, if you think about it, too, actual cannibals, because Sweeney Todd also ate the meat pies.
Yeah.
But they're both very tricky, and they both have their own
Mm-hmm.
kind of things how they do it, but they both end up catching victims and tricking them and doing what they
like
need
Jeff
to do.
said, very discreet. A lot of things happening without nobody else knowing.
Yeah, I suppose there's just some dude in the corner like Wimpy from Popeyes, like, ooh, hamburgers, what a haircut.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah. But I don't know. This is really tough to decide. Part of me wishes I could just, fuse them into some hybrid being for future rounds and be like, the best of both of
Be crazy.
the best of both of you.
Sweeney Dahmer.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The dick-eating barber.
Do we want to make a rule exemption and put Sweeney Dahmer onto the next round?
Oh, God. Fuck. That has never been thought of or introduced, but I would love it.
If we do...
If we tied...
If we do Sweeney Dahmer, it's going up against 3 zombies.
Yeah,
Let's
then we,
fucking
no.
I don't know. It's up to you. You're the judge.
Okay, well, after that, I'll make an exemption. There can only be 1 per tournament.
Okay.
If
Cool.
it goes forward, you can only do 1 per tournament. I'm going with Sweeney Dahmer. I think something about their spiritual creep nature.
I say
And-
we do it.
Yeah.
So are we going with
They
like...
say you are what you eat, and they
Are
both
we-
eat what they are, so why not...
Are we
can't-
making them a pair? Like 2 individual people? Or are we making them one...
I'm making them
We making
like
them
a
one-
Manimal, Frankenstein's monster...
One man-bear pig,
Sweeney
okay.
Dahmer.
Yeah.
God, that's a good one that I should have done for next year.
Man-bear pig.
Man-bear pig.
Yes.
All right, Sweeney Dahmer moves on. Everybody wins. Thank you, Jeff.
Man, I want
God.
to submit some guys one year, so it's like real low stakes, like the Priceline negotiator versus dude, you're getting a Dell guy.
Yeah, the price line versus the progressive bitch.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that is a hazy fucking IPA, dude.
It is. It smells
Yeah,
delicious. though.
it looks like
May I have the
it looks like
residuals?
something that comes
Okay.
out of a human body.
I didn't want the residuals in the can. That's all right. May I taste it?
I see.
Jeff first.
Thank you.
It is good. It's very good. Very citrusy.
Salute.
How's your Oktoberfest?
Very good. Are we
That
still
is solid.
recording?
Yes.
That's cool.
We never
course.
stop.
I like it. I like the vulnerability.
Would anyone like to
Yeah.
try my Saison?
I'm
Yes,
good.
please.
It's good.
Tune in
That's-
2 weeks from 2
that's
days
very
from now
good.
when we all have COVID.
Yeah.
We'll be alright.
That is a good Oktoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah,
It's a little too...
When people say that, they never say it.
That's the thing. Saisons are hit and miss.
Yeah, it's
So-
a little too sour for me, but that is the mystery.
I
man.
want a Frenchman to fart in my beer.
If you ask me, this is like
Harry
a
and
very
salty.
good deal because the tap room that I got these from, the beer is like between $7 and $8 average. These were $3 for a mystery bag, so you
Dude,
easily
yeah.
got an $8 beer. You easily
So
got
they
an $8
came
beer.
in mystery bags.
Yeah, that's how they came. I didn't fucking do shit.
That's what I wondered. I didn't know if you picked
Yeah.
them and you just put them in bags and
No,
mixed
no,
them
no.
up,
They
or-
came like that. For $3 a piece, you can get like that's a good IPA. That's a good Oktoberfest. This is an alright Saison. Like.
What we're telling everyone is to defraud this local business. Go in there and absolutely get your money's worth.
They only have 2 mystery bags left after I do them. They make them up every week.
I got your
So if
2
you
mystery
go to a
bags.
local bar,
Honestly, I really like this. This is
if you
really
if
good.
you go to a local bar or a local tap room and they have mystery bags, buy one because you have like a 50% chance that it's going to be something actually really good. It's like a $7-8 beer.
And this says volume 21, so I don't know if this is like the 21st version or...
The 21st beer they've put out.
Maybe, yeah. All right, we are now halfway through the first round.
Man, we should probably pick up the pace up there. I don't know. We're good.
We're good.
These usually last about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just an FYI.
3 hours max, but unless you have wrestling to get to.
I do, but I've already told the person I can get there later, so it's okay.
Okay. So, next we have Ghostface versus Killer Clowns. And by Killer Clowns, there's 3.
I'm glad you're not specifying Ghostface Killa versus Clowns.
Yeah.
It's Ghostface versus Killa Clowns.
Honestly, I think Ghostface Killer would probably win.
I think the entire Wu-Tang Clan would run this table. I gotta be honest with you. The
Yeah.
RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon,
Yeah.
Inspected Deck, Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah.
We got them all.
That's the thing. We named a cow Ghostface Killer.
We did name a cow Ghostface Killer.
And then he died.
Yeah. You win. Who you picking?
Ghostface Killer or...
No,
sorry,
Ghostface or the Killer Clowns from outer space.
Killer Clowns.
3 of them.
Killer Clowns.
All right. So,
Trace.
everybody knows Ghostface. Ghostface is popular for the Scream movies. He knows what you did last winter, basically. So,
Another Matthew Lillard staple.
so
he is in that.
huh?
He is in that, ain't he? Matthew
Yeah.
Lillard? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ghostface, he's just bebop around the neighborhood, killing teenagers at night. On a Saturday night, while they're making popcorn, usually it's Pamela Anderson, while she's making popcorn in her kitchen alone. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, he's killing teenagers. However, he's bebopping around the neighborhood and he sees a birthday party. And it turns out that it's these 3 clowns. Well, these 3 clowns have a night gig. And that is killer clowns. They kill people as well. So he's theoretically stomping on their territory. He's in the neighborhood. This is his territory. He's been here. These killer clowns, they're just visitors. They're just visitors. They're not here permanently. So they plan to basically sneak into the house of the people whose birthday party was there and kill the family. However, Ghostface ain't about that shit. So he waits for him like the two burglars outside of Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin's
The
house.
Sticky Bandits.
The Sticky
AKA
Bandits.
the Wet Bandits.
Yeah. So he just waits outside like the wet, sticky bandits.
Wet and the hot and sassy bandits.
Yeah. Like the Philly cheesesteak bandits, he just waits outside.
The Philly cheesesteak bandits.
It's wet and sticky.
They're in Chicago. They're right. This is Polish sausage.
Yep.
So he's just waiting outside, just hanging out, just waiting for him to show back up to kill the whole family. And he goes, nuh-uh. So they just throw him down in the front yard after they show up. They show up and he's like, hey, you're on my territory. And they're like, no, we're not. And they're like, yeah, you are.
Riveting.
They're men of very few words. So they throw down in the front yard of the house. You know, it's the witching hour. It's midnight, between midnight and 3 a.m., you know. So everybody's asleep. Nobody wakes up. It's perfect scenario. Everybody's on Zoloft or whatever you fucking call it. So they throw them in the front yard to kill the crowns. What do they got? They don't have weapons. They just strangle people with, you know, expandable balloons. They just kill people.
Also known as balloons. Otherwise, they'd be balls.
So, Ghostface has his, you know, quintessential, his signature butcher knife. So they just go at it. Ghostface, it's 3-1. He knows it's a challenge, but they're on his territory, so he's super pissed. So he goes at him, takes him out, just kind of one by one. They try to do their clown shit. You know, they have their honking horns, you know, and stuff like that. That's all they really got. They don't have much. They don't have much for weapons. They're sadistic bastards. They don't have much for weapons. At least Ghostface has his signature knife. Chops them down one by one, walks away, and he's like, not in my neighborhood. And they just lay dead in the front lawn for the neighbors to find in the morning. And that's the end of that. And then he just goes on killing teenagers after that. Pamela Anderson making popcorn.
Nice.
Boom.
Okay. Killer Clowns and Ghostface. So, Killer Clowns trying to make a name.
Three of them.
Three of them. Killer Clowns. Three of them. Trying to make their name in the world. You know.
A trio.
An insane clown posse plus one.
Yes.
A trio, if you will.
Yep. Killer Clowns trying to make a name for themselves.
Bebopping around town drinking Faygo.
Fuck yeah. Killing babies. And
we didn't have to go there.
Anybody else? Stepping on Ghostface territory. Ghostface ain't having it. Killer Clowns. Kind of carnies. I would lump carnies with Killer Clowns. Kind of the same aspect.
They sleep together.
Yes. For sure. Share the same STDs.
Being an adult.
Yes.
Shut up! This is not an adult podcast. Get out of here. I mean, it is an adult podcast.
They share the same
Act like
STDs and all kinds of stuff. So carnies. Everybody knows that carny has a weapon under their fucking blouse.
That's what they're known for most of all.
For sure. Cheap rides and fucking weapons. So carnies, they want their money, they want their shit, anything that happens, they want it. So Ghostface and Killer Clowns are facing off. Ghostface, one man versus three clowns. He has one shiny fucking butcher knife. The shiniest butcher knife that he could ever buy.
He cleans it a lot.
Yeah. With his
Everybody knows you can't slice and dice if you haven't got a clean blade.
with his fucking skirt. And against Killer
It's a cloak.
Anyway. So, Killer Clowns versus Ghostface. 3-1.
Visibility.
Three regular men against one man.
Regular.
Regular man against
Does that mean straight American Republican?
Okay. Let's just say
Me-
clowns. They don't care.
For the sake
Describe
of Jeff.
yourself. I'm just a regular man.
For the sake of Jeff.
Just an average Joe playing some dodgeball on the weekend.
They're all gay.
They're all gay. Oh, besides that, they're completely regular. They get a lot of fiber in their diet.
Their favorite food is broccoli.
Yeah.
Let's just say that they're regular people.
Regular people.
They're human beings. How about that? There we go.
Woo!
Nothing special about them.
Well, I think that's reductive.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Continue.
Anyway. Three clowns against fucking Ghostface. Ghostface has one knife. The clowns have fucking baseball bats and fucking horns and squeaky noses and all kinds of shit. They all have weapons.
Like on their head?
Bricks, bat, and chain, okay? Each of them has a weapon, okay?
I was unaware they were fighting Mistress Mandy.
It's It's actually Gangs in New York style. Bricks, Backs, and Chains.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ghostface tries to come at one of them, kind of cuts one in the chest, and the other one just takes a baseball bat and smacks him over the fucking head. And he's out cold, and then the other one just strangles him with the chain all sadistically and fuck and shit. And
And shit. All sadistic.
strangles him sadistically and fuck and shit. And
Don't forget about the ghosts.
And Ghostface is dead. Because we all know Ghostface is just, a person.
Some dude.
Some dude pretending to be mentally challenged.
Some dude disguised as another dude playing another dude.
Pretending to be mentally challenged and fucks himself with a vacuum cleaner.
What's better than this? Just guys being dudes.
Yeah.
This is guy time.
Guy time.
So
Guy
clown
time.
possibly.
We're all just three normal dudes just coming together to talk on a microphone.
We're just innocent men.
So the three clowns fucking gang stop fucking Ghostface.
All right, Jeffrey, what do you got?
I think Ryan's made the compelling argument here. Ghostface is just some dude. We got 3 killer clowns from outer space.
Are they from outer space?
That's the full name of the movie. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, like the Leprechaun. Back to the Hood twice.
Yeah.
And outer
Up in
space.
Smoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta give it to the killer clowns here. Ultimately I was prepared to vote against clowns today, and I guess I have not done that yet. But clowns are ultimately just vaudeville like lamos.
Yeah.
Like look at this idiot. Like but so far they're doing pretty okay.
Yeah. All right, next matchup we have the most sacred of matchups: Dracula versus the Wolfman.
Ooh.
Sacred.
This'll mean something to my great grandparents I never met.
One of them was a wolfman, the other one never.
Chew.
Woke up there
So-
in the night.
For all the pedants out there listening on hour 2,
Oh, that word too.
Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster?
Like calling it
I'm just being an asshole. Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, yeah, I think that's the right answer. If I say Frankenstein, no one's like, "Oh yeah, that was
That was
more
just-
plastic surgeon." That was
That was the chemist. That was the chemist in the castle.
my plastic surgeon unfairly treated Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah, cool.
So werewolf versus vampire.
Dracula, the king of
Okay,
vampires.
sorry, you can edit that out. I just completely placed
No, you're fine.
Frankenstein.
We don't edit shit.
No, okay, well,
I do a little bit. Depending on what it
we
is.
edit things based on what stupid shit Ryan says.
okay. So, Wolfman versus Dracula. We both got canines going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I win?
Yes.
That's incisors, you dumb son of a bitch.
I'm gonna go Wolfman.
All right. I get Dracula, the king of all vampires, the OG vampire. And for context, I am going with Dracula Untold version. Dracula.
Gotcha.
You've seen it? You've
No.
seen it? Okay, but you've seen it. Yeah, the wrong part. So, Dracula in a theory of king of vampires, ruler of all, the OG, most powerful, whatever.
Blah blah blah.
Blah, 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 blah. So, he does, this isn't the Dracula that helps you, like, spell and shit. And, like...
DEAD.
Dead? So, Dracula, he's just bebopping around his castle and shit, just hanging out. And,
Sucking blood.
sucking blood, living life, being the king of the vampires. And he hears that some of his troops have encountered some trouble, like in the countryside.
It's true.
So he goes to, it's a castle. He has troops. And they say he hears tale that it's a werewolf. So he goes out to investigate, brings some men with him.
It's a wolf man.
And all of a sudden, they encounter under a full moon at night. They encounter, because they both come out at night, and encounters a wolfman in the middle of the field. He's got his men with him, and he's like, "Let me handle this. I'm the king of the vampires. I'm, pretty cool." So it's 1v1. It's Wolfman versus Dracula. So Dracula comes up. He throws off his robe because he doesn't need it. He has a sword. He has a side knife because
Fuck you, robe.
it's medieval times, so he has a sword, he has a knife.
Tourists have paid $12 to cheer him on.
That's all he needs. He has superhuman powers. He is the OG vampire. He's Dracula.
Yeah. During the night.
Yeah, during the
During
night. And the Wolfman is the wolf during the night as well, but during the day,
Full moon.
he is Chuck.
He is just the
no,
local village pantry owner operator.
Hold
He's
on,
just a normal guy during
He's
the
just
day.
a regular guy.
Tedward was actually the man, the werewolf.
So they go at each other. The werewolf, his wolf instincts are taking over. Like, he's not a human inside. He's just a wolf. He's trying to kill this person that's in front of him. He has wolf rage. That's it. It's his job to kill people. So Dracula has his senses. He's a functioning human being. He knows what's going on. He has a plan. So they go at each other. They're bound in the middle of this field. All the other guards are hanging back.
Fight.
So the Wolfman dives at him.
Hadouken.
So the Wolfman dives at him, and Dracula, uses his superhuman speed to dodge it. He slices the werewolf up, but everybody knows that the Wolfman cannot be killed. That the Wolfman cannot be killed by just a mere mortal blade, unless you cut off the head. That's the only way you can kill them. So he doesn't have silver. He just has normal blades. It's medieval times. Nobody has silver anything. So he basically takes a couple slices out of the Wolfman. Wolfman lunges back at him. Dracula dodges it, and at the same time, one swift motion cuts off the Wolfman's head. They basically ride into the sunset. They separate the head from the body, so he can't grow back or whatever. And the sun comes up, and it basically dissipates the Wolfman's body. He turns back into a human, and the human is dead. The Wolfman will never come back, and Dracula rides off into the moonlight, because it's not the sunrise.
Yeah.
And goes back to his castle, and, reigns terror, and,
Orders some DoorDash and fires up the Pornhub tabs.
Yes.
Stole Mary Jane from Spider-Man.
Because everybody knows Dracula invented Pornhub.
That's what he's most known for.
Yeah. That fucking fat dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Wolfman versus Dracula. Dracula, super speed. Wolfman, also very fast.
It's not that I'm not interested. I just have to pee.
No, you're fine. So Wolfman and Dracula. Wolfman is also fast, but Dracula is
Faster.
I would say faster, yes.
Exactly.
Wolfman, crazy beast. Dracula, just a man with fangs. But also, has kind of, I guess, super strength, but so does the Wolfman. So they're pretty equally matched. The Wolfman and Dracula have some beef. Dracula called the Wolfman's mom fat, and he doesn't take kindly to that. Wolfman is a straight-up man-wolf beast. Super strong, super fast, crazy, a maniac. Dracula, more contemporary, more human, more has feelings and stuff like that, but still a vampire. The Wolfman and Dracula face off. The Wolfman is more enraged and more furious because he loves his mom, and he only got one mom,
That's right.
Unless they remarry and your dad remarries and you got stepmom.
Oh, yeah. Not to say mom is a social
Not to say mom, not
we
the
have
one that
many
pushed
moms
you.
in this world.
Yeah, not the mom that pushed you out of the womb, but
Yeah. Unless
you're-
you had a surrogate mom.
right. Your actual
bullshit are you
your actual mom. So the Wolfman's pissed. Ain't having this shit. Super fast, super strong. It's kind of a pretty equal match. The Wolfman ends up coming out on top. The Dracula fades right, and the Wolfman is like, "Oh, okay, studied this shit." Fades right too. Grabs the Wolfman or grabs Dracula, holds him in place. The Dracula is trying to swipe him, and the Wolfman just has his head like you do a child. When they're 8 and they try swinging and shit. And the Wolfman just grabs him by the head and fucking rips his head off. Dracula's no more. Because once you remove Dracula's head, he's automatically dead. You don't need silver. You don't need anything like that. And the Wolfman wins.
All right, Jeffrey. Who do you pick?
It's difficult because both operate during the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
One is presumably a normal person that turns into a wolf, and one is a guy that's constantly a demon.
Mm-hmm. And they're also, theoretically, based on historical facts, they're sworn enemies.
If, like, the Van Helsing type of, what's his name? Actor?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah, Hugh
Keanu
Jackman
Reeves.
and Van Helsing. Yeah, they
I'm thinking
are.
of Constantine.
Because Dracula kind of...
I'm going to let you take the first step of that.
Yeah, Dracula used the Wolfman to do his bidding, and then the Wolfman turned on him and killed Dracula.
It's a French toast imperial ale from Southern Tier Brewing Co.
With lactose?
It's really good.
Toast? Anyway.
I don't know. I feel like Dracula gets the win here. I'm not sure that a bat could beat a Wolverine, but I don't think a Wolverine could beat a bat unless it had special chances. I'm going to go with the thing that's a full demon all the time.
Gotcha.
I know you're making big, grandiose arguments, and then I'm settling on the
that.
Occam's razor, but I think it's got to go to Dracula.
I would agree with that.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Next, we have the historically top runner of Halloween Deathmatch is
That one's-
Pumpkinhead
Oh, fuck.
versus Bigfoot.
Ooh, big
I'm going to need y'all to fill me in on who Pumpkinhead is.
Okay. So Pumpkinhead...
Is this the Headless Horseman? Oh.
No. So, Pumpkinhead is...
Trying to give me a half
I would advise you to watch any of the Pumpkinhead movies because they're really good. So Pumpkinhead is...
He's the wheels of Cinderella's carriage.
Yeah, so Pumpkinhead... Pumpkinhead is basically when he's asleep. So he's kind of like Jeepers Creepers, but when he's asleep, he's just a regular pumpkin.
Ooh.
He's just a gourd chilling in the
A
forest.
gourd among men.
Yes.
So
He's just a gourd chilling in the forest, but Pumpkinhead has to be summoned by someone who has been wronged, and they seek Pumpkinhead for revenge for their wronging. And then Pumpkinhead transforms into a humanoid type figure with kind of a pumpkin head and a creepy mouth. And Pumpkinhead can't die.
Oh, I know them. They work in HR.
They do, for sure. So Pumpkinhead is
Pumpkinhead
is definitely kind of he's a non-dying figure for sure. But once Pumpkinhead has seeked revenge for the person who has summoned him, he goes back to sleep. But he's basically a creature type thing that seeks revenge, kills whoever he has to, and he goes back to sleep.
So he's kind of like a Mr. Meeseeks.
Yes. Basically, you hit
I'm Mr. Meeseeks!
You hit a button.
Ooh,
once
we can do!
Once he's completed his task, he goes back to sleep. Bigfoot
versus Pumpkinhead. And you won, so you want Pumpkinhead?
Pumpkinhead.
All right. Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, as they say. So, Bigfoot, just doing his thing, bebopping around the woods. And,
As always.
Yeah, shitting in bushes, doing the same thing. So, Bigfoot, he encounters Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead is in the middle of the woods. He's in his territory, Bigfoot, humanoid creature, animalistic. He doesn't know the difference between somebody encroaching on his territory and not. Pumpkinhead, he's been summoned. He's looking for some campers. Because that's how Pumpkinhead works. Pumpkinhead is summoned to look for a certain person. There's some people camping in the woods Bigfoot doesn't know about. And Pumpkinhead is looking for these people camping in the woods, and Bigfoot just stumbles upon him as he's walking through the woods. So Pumpkinhead immediately considers this as a threat, as so does Bigfoot. So Bigfoot essentially is like, what are you doing in my swamp? And
Like Shrek?
Yeah.
What are you doing in my swamp?
And Pumpkinhead's like, I'm looking for this guy. And
Donkey!
Pumpkinhead's like, I'm looking for...
number 3, my lord!
Yeah. And Pumpkinhead's like, I'm looking for Chad. And it's like, but I'm not Chad, and you found me, so let's duel. So Bigfoot uses his almighty ape strength to basically commandeer Pumpkinhead. They do battle. It's a good fight, and Pumpkinhead basically is too weak for Bigfoot's animalistic strength and his mysterious shadow ability to blend into the woods.
Monkey ability.
Yeah, exactly. So basically Pumpkinhead lunges at Bigfoot. Bigfoot uses the power of the forest to conjure all of his strength, which is not much. But Bigfoot overpowers Pumpkinhead, and I don't have much for this because Pumpkinhead is a unkillable person, and Bigfoot is just a mythical creature that sometimes exists out in West Virginia. So,
Almost have.
In Florida, in Texas.
so Bigfoot basically, like, Bigfoot buries a big hole and shoves Pumpkinhead into it, and then he poops on his face, and Pumpkinhead dies from sheer sepsis. And that's it. That's all I got, because I'm going to lose, and I'm just throwing out stupid shit.
Alright, so Pumpkinhead, he's just a gourd right now. He hasn't been summoned yet. Turns out, Sasquatch, Bigfoot has stolen somebody's child. He decided to switch to human meat instead of animal meat.
Human meat.
And he
It was
stole...
a moral decision.
Yes, it was. A very contemplated decision. Bigfoot decided to steal somebody's child. The family is pissed. They know about Pumpkinhead. They know of his supernatural powers. They decided to go to Gourd Pumpkinhead and summon him to take revenge on Bigfoot because they saw Bigfoot take his child into the woods, take their child into the woods. Pumpkinhead has been summoned. Pumpkinhead can't die against a Sasquatch. Pumpkinhead walks through the woods, ends up finding Bigfoot, and Bigfoot's like, get out of my swamp. And Pumpkinhead's like, fuck you. Pumpkinhead and
I'm just hunting for Chad.
Pumpkinhead and Bigfoot face off. Pumpkinhead, undieable creature, a monster, as we say. He's been summoned to destroy Bigfoot, and he will not complete this. He will continue to face off against Bigfoot until his mission is complete. He will not stop until his mission is complete. Pumpkinhead ends up facing off against Bigfoot. Bigfoot is more scared than anything because
like Ted Bundy.
Because he sees a walking gourd with a humanoid body, and slices up Bigfoot and destroys Bigfoot, and then fucking bites a big hole in his chest, and then Bigfoot's dead, and Pumpkinhead goes back to rest. And
I would like to say that Bigfoot makes pumpkin pie out of Pumpkinhead. That's all I want. Yeah, that's it.
Pumpkinhead
He serves him for Sasquatch Thanksgiving.
Pumpkinhead seeks revenge and goes back to sleep.
The saying goes, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight in the dog. And unless someone's hiring Pumpkinhead, I don't think they're going to have a winning case here.
Right.
I'm going to go with Bigfoot, who has only relied on Bigfoot for the durality of Bigfoot.
And he poops on his face after he buries him.
But Pumpkinhead was summoned
By Chad.
by somebody I picked. Because Bigfoot switched to man meat and stole baby.
So basically, Jeff picks Bigfoot.
I'm picking Bigfoot.
Haha! Fuck you!
Fuck you, Jeff.
Bigfoot runs over him in a monster truck that he had his name on the side.
Fuck.
Okay.
I think that's the first time Pumpkinhead lost in the first round.
Speaking of, just a quick side note. Speaking of monster trucks, what was the girl driver of the monster trucks that was super popular nationwide?
That was Medusa. She was a WCW wrestler of the same name.
Really?
Yeah.
There was another one
Also
too.
known as Alundra Blaze in WWF from 1990 to 1994.
She drove monster trucks?
Yes, same person.
Okay. What was the other one? There was another one too. Was it Venom?
No, it wasn't
So the International Monster Truck Series used to come to our county fair. And I couldn't remember the name, but she was absolutely beautiful. And we used to have pictures of her. We used to have like signed pictures because for $20 you could buy 8x10 pictures, and you could stand in line at a table and they would sign them for you.
Maybe that's Victoria.
And she was absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous monster truck driver. But anyway, quick side note. So, the next one, which I'm also super excited for, Leatherface versus Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah, baby. Austin Powers mode for this one.
And the winner is Cody. So, I am going to pick Leatherface. Ryan, give me your Leprechaun story.
Okay. Leprechaun. He is just chilling under his tree. Right? And Leprechaun has magical powers. He's a leprechaun. He can snap his fingers and shit just happens. He can be one way. He can be another way. He can just go different directions, and he can make stuff out of thin air, like he made that go-kart out of bones at one time in Leprechaun 2. Either Leprechaun 2 or Leprechaun 3 is when he made the go-kart out of bones. So Leprechaun, magical powers, gold, such as that. It turns out Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, a.k.a., is looking for wood to burn in the fire for the homestead. And he ends up chopping down Leprechaun's tree, awakens Leprechaun from his slumber. Leprechaun comes out from underneath the tree and is like, what the fuck are you doing? Is all little hee-hee and fucking Warwick Davis and shit, little man. And is trying to fuck up fucking Leatherface because he's chopping down his tree and he doesn't like that because that's where he lives. That's his homestead. Leprechaun's pissed. He ends up fucking up Leatherface. He ends up transforming his face into an ass. It ends up being somebody else's, a teenager's face, and he just snaps his fingers, turns it into an ass. Leatherface can't breathe, and then the Leprechaun grabs his chainsaw, cuts his legs out from under him, and just shoves the chainsaw in his chest, and Leatherface is no more. Because he's magic. Magical. So, Leatherface, he got that big dick energy, don't give a fuck attitude. He was 5'7". Leatherface was 5'7"? Yeah.
He just looked big because everyone else in that movie was small.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
We call that the Tom Cruise illusion.
Yeah.
Jeff did the old separating thumb magic trick.
We're giving away the secrets on the air, Cody.
Clever.
So Leatherface, he doesn't care. He's just being Leatherface. He's got the family. The family also stands behind Leatherface. So you got to take that into consideration. When you fuck with the family, you fuck with everybody in the family. The dad, the mom, the grandpa, everybody. Even the grandpa who was wheelchair bound and carried a shotgun. So you mess with everybody when you mess with Leatherface.
We learned,
So Leprechaun shows up in Texas. He's just hanging out in his tree. He built a new home in the middle of Texas for some reason. So Leatherface is just hanging on the farm. Leprechaun sees the family house on the Texas farm, and he's just like, oh, what's this? So he wanders onto the property. He encounters Leatherface, and it's on. Like, you're on Leatherface property. You're on the family property. I can't remember the name of the family, but you wander onto the property. Leatherface doesn't know any better. He considers this a threat, so he basically rattles his chainsaw for a duel to Leprechaun. And Leprechaun might be a magical being. Leprechaun might be an all-powerful magical being. However, when you fuck with the family, you fuck with everybody. And there is at least 4 people in that family. So,
one's in a wheelchair.
Leatherface gives his, yodel.
3.5. Less than 3.5.
Leatherface gives his family yodel when everybody else comes outside. Even the grandpa in the wheelchair with a shotgun.
What's going on?
So now it's 3-on-1. Or 4-on-1. So now it's 4-on-1. So Leprechaun does this little magical dance and, casts some spells and shit. But it's no match for a sheer chainsaw from Leatherface.
Yeah,
Sheer American Texas steel.
American made.
So he runs after Leprechaun. Leprechaun's
original.
dipping and dodging, but he can't separate himself from it's Leprechaun versus 4 people. So he's dipping and dodging. He's not quick enough. The family subdues him. They tie him up and they take him limb by limb because they like suffering.
Seduce him or subdue him?
Subdue him.
They were succumbed to and made.
They subdue Leprechaun. They tie him to the tree.
Chain.
Yeah, they subdue Leprechaun. They tie him to the tree, and slowly but surely, Leatherface cuts his limbs off one by one, and then uses Leprechaun's face to make a leprechaun mask that is just big enough because he's only 5'7". Leprechaun has a giant fucking head.
Yeah,
because Warwick Davis
because he's
no
a little
match
person
for the murderous hillbilly.
That's
family.
the most politically correct thing we've said all podcast.
What is it? What did you say?
He's a little person.
He is a little person.
Yeah, so the family takes over Leprechaun, cuts him up to pieces, and Leatherface uses him to make a tiny blanket.
A regular man and his family versus a magical being.
Yep.
Jeff.
They're not just a regular family. The
incest.
Leatherface family. They're not incest.
Maybe.
Leatherface not.
I'm going to give it to Leatherface.
Fuck you, Jeff. He is a magical creature. He can and snap and fucking be a different place.
I have said fuck you, Jeff, a lot lately. But it's out of love.
You say that.
I mean, mine's
Oh, shut up.
Mine's out of love too. I still love you, Jeff, but fuck your decision.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's horseshit.
Next round, we have the undisputed rapping ass goblins.
Yeah!
3 of them.
I'm going to need more about the rapping ass goblins. The ragtime performers, RAG.
Yeah, so against
three
who?
rapping ass goblins versus Jason motherfucking Voorhees.
Cool.
Ooh.
So goblins, if you pull it up on Google, goblins have powers. Goblins have powers as fairies and other stuff.
I just want to say the winner. The winner is me. So I get a pick. But carry on.
Okay. Anyway, goblins have powers, magical powers, such as fairies, fairy folk, such as that. So they can...
Oh no!
Oh shit.
It's alright.
So they can... They can kind of zip and zap their way around and, you know... They have powers, kind of like the Leprechaun, but a little bit more fairyistic.
Yeah.
So, but the goblins back from season 1 are just a boy band, and they're rapping ass, and they, you know, are trying to make their brand new album Panty Dropper, and you know, shit keeps fucking with them, and they're just trying to chill in their hood, in their tree, and you know, spinning on cardboard and shit like that. So that is the rapping ass goblins. So rapping ass goblins versus Jason. So I have three rapping ass goblins versus Jason.
Word. We'll just wait for Cody to get back.
Yeah.
Do we have any sponsors we'd like to mention?
We don't. We sure don't.
Excellent. If you're interested in sponsoring this program, don't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to either of the Cum brothers.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
If you're listening to this at this point, odds are good you follow me on Twitter at BTownMoose. There is one genuine thing, if I have your time at this point. The Hoosier Ticket Project is a non-profit devoted to getting deserving families, children, and young folks out to Indiana football and basketball games. If you have extra bucks laying around, if you have extra tickets to games you're not going to, there are young people of varying degree of need who would love to spend an extra day with their family, their adoptive family, their host family, their foster family, etc. For just the price of you saying, I don't want to make $10 on it.
Right.
Please donate at HoosierTicketProject.org, and it is something that everybody benefits from.
Sounds dope.
It is really cool.
Yeah. Because I thought about going to an Indy Fuel hockey game this weekend, but I don't think I'm going to make it. But that's really cool. That is nice. Non-profit, sending kids to games, getting them in sports, and it's something to do.
No, it really is. It's like, you know, a lot of people, including myself as a lifelong IU football fan, it's not a good program right now.
Yeah.
But if you're paying for people, or there's a donation made where Nana and Papa and, you know, Buppy can all get to the game and hang out and have some soda and popcorn together in the sunlight on a beautiful Indiana autumn day.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about.
And games are always better not watching them on the TV, but in person.
Absolutely.
And that's with anything. Golf, tennis, any of that shit. Baseball, any of that shit. The homeless man who was smoking a crack pipe outside of the Circle K asked me for $1 for a Polar Pop, and I said no. So, you know, give it to a family in need, not a crackhead.
The tangled webs we weave.
Timing!
Timing!
And what people don't know is Jeff is arguably the most famous internet celebrity we've had on this podcast.
That's very kind of you to say. It doesn't, as my dad would have said, that and $1 gets you on the bus.
Yes, it does.
It does.
If it's on time.
Spin the wheel!
So, without further ado, 3 rapping ass goblins versus Jason Voorhees. And you know what? Just for you, Ryan, because you're my brother and I care about you, I'm going to give you 3 rapping ass goblins. I will take Jason Voorhees. So, give me your shit.
Alright. So, goblins, just chilling, rapping ass goblins, you know, chilling in their fucking treehouse. just hanging out, fucking spitting rhymes and spitting game and fucking trying to, break out their new album, Panty Dropper. They've been working on it for 2 years now. No big deal. Just a boy band trying to make it big. Trying to be in sync, but better. Magical in sync. Jason is he's looking for teenage kids to fucking behead. And he ends up stumbling and walking through the woods and coming across the goblins. And they're like, fuck you, Jason. You can't come up. And Jason's got beef with the goblins because, they fucking...
Are in his way.
Yeah. They ended up, calling his mom fat. And Jason loves his mom, as we all know.
Jason was played by his mom.
He was.
Yeah.
Plagued and loves his mom at the same time. Parent.
You can't sound out trauma without mama.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Parental abuse at its finest.
Very sweet.
So the goblins, magical. Jason also, let's say he can't really die, but also has the highest body count in all killer history. Goblins.
He went to space.
Jason, yeah, he did go to space. Jason
He's got Bin Laden beat.
He does. Yep. Not just 9/11, but in the stars. Jason is, pissed off because the goblins, are playing this rap music and he only likes classical. Jason's pissed and the goblins are like, fuck you, bro. We're trying to make it big. And Jason's upset, so he, kind of slowly walks over to him. And the goblins have magical powers, so they end up going back in their house. Jason starts trying to punch down the door. The goblins end up, they're basically like a gang. So they end up pulling out the AK-47s behind their couch. And Jason busts down the door.
Is this Gran Torino?
Yep, it sure is. It's actually Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And the goblins end up pulling out their AK-47s behind the couch because they're always strapped. And they end up unloading on Jason. The clips are dead. They have no more ammo. Jason's still alive, still has a head, still has his sword, his machete. And the goblins end up trapping Jason in a kind of demonic force field that keeps him still. And they end up, the goblins end up taking his machete. They end up throwing a bunch of rocks and Jason gets distracted and he drops his machete. And they end up grabbing his machete off the ground and chopping Jason's head off. And Jason is no more. Dead. Because Jason has never had his head decapitated except when he comes up with the rapping ass goblins. Basically Eminem plus 3. And he's dead.
Alright. So, set the scene. So, there's 3 rapping ass goblins just hanging out,
Fuck yeah, there is.
Just hanging out in their treehouse, just beat bopping in the woods.
Fuck yeah.
And,
in the treehouse.
Jason is on the hunt for his next victim, just walking through the woods.
Hunt for pussy.
Just walking through the woods with his machete, and he comes upon the goblins' treehouse. Goblins are just spitting game, doing flip tricks on the piece of cardboard out in the lawn.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, practicing their breakdancing game.
Fucking spin kicks, Bruce Lee in it.
Spin kicks. I remember that's what you said.
Yeah, I did.
Spin kicks.
Spin kicks.
Doing spin kicks on the front lawn. So, Jason comes upon him, and the rapping ass goblins are like, "Hey man, you're on our territory." And Jason's like silent. He's that silent killer. He doesn't care. He's on a mission to kill somebody tonight. So he approaches them, and the rapping ass goblins they grab their AKs, they grab their gats, their Tech 9s, everything. They start shooting, but everybody knows Jason is an unkillable character, unkillable person. So they start shooting upon him. The guns don't work, so they're all freaking out. They don't know what to do. So they grab their machetes. They have machetes too. So they grab their machetes. So now it's a machete fest. So Jason is slow, but he's still impenetrable, like a tank.
AKA a Mexican standoff.
Yes. So the goblins are slicing at him and everything. Jason's slow, but he is slowly but surely he is still strong. So he slices at them one at a time, decapitates all the goblins. He is an unkillable character. And after that, he's done his killing for the night. He has made his move. He's killed all 3 of the goblins. The goblins are no more. They will never release their Untold album, but it will probably leak on the mixtape app. at some point.
SoundCloud.
It'll probably leak on SoundCloud eventually next year after their grandma discovers it on their iPad Pro. So sliced up the goblins. Jason, unkillable character. He's done his mission for that night. He goes back into the water and he is safe for one more day because he is an all-penetrable fortress and he sliced up the goblins and that is all. Boom.
That's a difficult decision.
Please pick the goblins. Don't sway the opinion of the judge.
You can't just say he's indefeatable.
He is.
Time defeats us all.
You know, one thing that Ryan didn't bring up is water.
Didn't need to.
In his story.
Didn't need to. They're in the woods.
Give me 30 words.
He didn't bring up water because water is Jason's number one weakness. Turns him back into a little child. They didn't use water at all, so Jason's always at his full strength.
It was raining.
You can't add that afterwards.
You added that afterwards.
I did add that afterwards.
I'm giving it to the goblins.
Yes! You did that on purpose!
Rapping ass, motherfucker. Panty dropper coming out this spring.
Also, if I'm just finding a reason to pull something down, Jason had to have his mom fight his battles for him. He only, has his battles on one day a year, more or less.
That is true.
Those rapping ass goblins.
For show. Making a comeback. Episode 2.
No, not yet.
Victorious. Last round. And this is going to finish up part 1. And we will do part 2 next week. And we will have that out for you. So, our judge has to go. No big deal. We talked about doing it in part 2. Where this is probably going to be 3.5 hour, 4 hour episode.
We initially, I brought the idea to Ryan of doing a part 1 and part 2 to give you guys kind of like a stable platform. Because let's be honest, not everybody's a Joe Rogan podcast. Nobody can sit there and listen to Joe Rogan for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And are they really listening?
No. Exactly.
It's just background noise.
We figured we'd give you guys a 2 hour episode and then another at least 2 hour episode. Because after this, we'll be in the final... We'll be in the final 12 characters, and Jeff will be back again to finish this shit out because we have had a fantastic time. Thank you again for Jeff for showing up.
Oh, it's been
This
so
has been
real.
fantastic. And we'll do our outros in just a few minutes.
Our friendly neighbor, Jeffrey.
But for now, for now, let's get into it.
No homosection with a nose ring.
This new...
God, I fucking love that so
Got
much.
him.
I love it so much.
But for now, let's get into it for this final matchup. It is Graboids, a.k.a. Tremors, versus the Predator.
Ooh, it's so good.
Alien technology versus ground
Now,
mammals.
you know Predator, right?
Well, this is going to be the biggest fuck you of all. I have not seen either of these movies.
Really?
So, with your cases...
You need to come over before Wednesday. Watch Graboids.
I'm here for that.
Watch
So,
Tremors.
But
Graboids
with your testimony, I
Yes.
particularly, briefly, would like to hear why I should be so scared of these
Yes.
things.
Okay, so-
Predator, obviously it's Predator, Alien versus Predator.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh, well, fuck.
So Predator is another alien from outer space. The only difference between Alien and Predator is an advanced humanoid that is absolutely stacked and jacked. Very jacked human being, very tall, very massive. However, they have the capability of extensive technology, alien technology, to provide weapons, bombs, grenades, whatever to their disposal. The only difference is between like the regular alien xenomorph versus Predator is the reason why they had the matchup is they're both aliens from another planet, but the Predator is more of a humanoid, whereas the alien is more of like a all-encompassing monster.
From outer space.
Yes.
No.
But the Predator has extensive weapon technology.
Yes.
That is how they fight the
And
aliens.
usually whenever the Predator dies, if they intend that they're not going to win, they will kind of push buttons on their wrist, on their forearm, and it will trigger a massive nuclear explosion.
Instead of Predator 1, you should watch Predator 2 because Danny Glover's a police chief in it, and I
Yes.
think you would appreciate
Danny
that.
Glover.
Yes.
In Los Angeles.
Yes. Now,
It's
Graboids,
fantastic.
technically, the movie is Tremors. So Tremors
Featuring
is...
Kevin Bacon.
Yes, it's
With an
basically...
awesome mullet.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
The best mullet.
Now, Tremors is basically a sandwormy kind of thing. It's in, like... I forget where they're located. Basically
Like
desert.
Arizona.
Yeah, but basically, graboids is the name that they give to them. And graboids are basically in the earth. And they're basically giant worms that sense motion and detect motion and come up out of the ground and will swallow you. They also have 3 kind of dick tongues, kind of like Alien.
More of a dick.
But extend more feet, more like 6 or 7 feet that have mouths and eyes and stuff like that.
So it's like half Dune, half Beetlejuice.
Basically, yes. But they are more, and their head is made of bone and their body is softer. And they kind of slither their way through the dirt and sense motion and vibrations, and then they come up and attack their prey and swallow them to bring them back down.
Gotcha.
So that is a graboid.
I present you with a cat.
Take the baby.
Sorry, Jeff. It's just claws.
It's okay, Bernie.
Yeah, it's just needles.
Sorry.
All
No,
right.
it's fine. Cody, Ryan,
All right.
y'all go ahead.
So the winner of this drawing is Ryan.
Going graboids.
All right.
One?
So,
One?
let's do 2.
Okay.
Well, let's stay with the theme and we'll do 3 graboids because it's been 3
Because that was the
times.
initial thing, was there was 3. They killed one, another one come up, they killed that one, and there was 3.
We will do 3 graboids because that has been the trend, is 3 graboids.
Dope.
So,
Go see Jeffy.
and it's 1 predator. 1 predator versus 3 graboids. So, when Predator comes down, he's like, oh, Tucson, Arizona, sounds like a nice spot. So he lands, he's planning to take over the world in Tucson, Arizona. You know, it's arid, it's dry. The Predators don't need anything to have everything on their home spaceship. It's got a cloaking device. It can make anything invisible. The Predator itself can also make itself invisible. The difference is that graboids sense motion. So when the Predator walks, they can still sense them on the ground even though they're moving.
Invisible is nothing, basically.
Exactly.
Correct.
Because they measure everything by sound. However, even though they measure everything by sound, they can still be coaxed into false alternatives.
Right. And that's how they defeat them with Kevin Bacon and whatever the fuck. That's how they defeat them, is they kind of sense the vibrations, do that, and once they come above the surface, they're weak.
Yes.
Their body is made, or their head is made of bone, but their body
They're
is
only the
soft.
strongest while they're underground.
Yes.
Because you cannot get to them. They're far enough underground that they leave a trace of where they go, but you cannot shoot through them or anything like that. So, the Predator uses his cloaking technology.
Coking.
He shoots
shoots coke underground.
So he lands in the middle of the desert, and the graboids descend on the mothership because it lands on the dirt. It is their territory. They have always been there. They're ancient beings, essentially dinosaurs, if you will. So they descend on the mothership, and the Predator walks out of the spaceship, and he sees these motions in the dirt, and he knows there's something going on. However, he has advanced alien technology to ray guns, bombs, everything else. So when the graboids actually surface, the Predator uses his ray guns, he uses his alien technology to blast the graboids. The graboids try to grab him with their 3 dick tongues. It doesn't work because everybody knows the Predators are allergic to dick tongues. And he's like, nope, not today, Satan. So he blasts the dick tongues out of the face of the planet, blasts them away, he throws everything he can at the graboids. There's 3, keep that in mind. So they're still underground, they're surfacing, they're trying to figure out the best angle to get the Predator. The Predator's on the ground as well. They can sense his movement to try to basically encapsulate him, eat him whole, and everything like that. So the Predators come at him, 2 of them surface, he blasts both of them away, he throws grenades, he shoots his laser, everything like that, because he does have alien technology. They are still mortal earthworms. Regardless, you can still kill them with regular guns. So he uses alien technology to blow 2 of them away. The 3rd one comes up, swallows him whole. However, he has the ability to throw grenades. He has the ability to blow himself up. So the third one swallows him whole. He's swimming around in the earthworm body. The graboid's going through the freaking earth, carrying him away. So the Predator uses a self-sacrifice method and throws a grenade inside the belly of the earth tremor, the graboid, and blows it sky high. However, the Predator is an alien. He is a superhuman being. He comes out unscathed, a little bit hurt, maybe a little bit of damage, not unscathed. Maybe a little bit of damage, walks away, walks back up to the mothership, gets in the mothership, and he's like, fuck Tucson. And he's like, peace out, bitches. And then he goes back, and he goes to Utah after that. Well, there's no graboids.
Alright. So graboids versus Predator. Predator hunting human beings. The Predator hunts human beings that he finds are good foes or good people that he can face off with. The Predator only attacks if this person has a weapon that he can identify with his alien weapons. It's basically his alien identification device. If they have a gun, it recognizes it, and he's like, okay, they're a threat, and he goes after them. Graboids don't have a weapon. So the alien lands in fucking, let's say, Arizona, I guess.
Tucson.
And the graboids have already awakened. They sense motion. First of all, the Predator's just walking around. He's just chilling and, trying to kill some babies. Or whatever. Babies with guns.
Everybody always wants to kill babies.
So he's hunting, and he is trying to find a good match for him to face off with. But he only attacks whenever his alien sight or whatever is in his mask. It basically identifies a weapon. He doesn't identify graboids because they're underground. He can't sense them. He can't do anything with his alien technology. The first one comes up and senses motion. It grabs him from underneath the ground. He takes his alien blade, his crazy fucking double machete, basically with serrated edges, and fucking stabs the one in the head and kills it.
He's giving him more credit than I did.
He kills the one, and he comes out unscathed. He starts walking around, and now the Predator is smart, so he knows that he can see the things moving, but he can't move fast enough. He can't fly. He can't do anything. He can just run. So he's running around, and the graboid comes up and grabs him and takes him down and swallows him whole. The Predator knows that he can't get out. He can't do anything, so he sets off his detonation device to where it basically causes a nuclear explosion that can take out a third of the state. So he sets off his detonation device and knows he can't get around because he doesn't know there's 3 of them. He just knows that there's 2. And he sets off his detonation device for his nuclear bomb. He dies. The graboid dies, but there's still one left. And he ends up dying from the nuclear blast. So does the other 2 graboids, and there's still one left that is 2 miles away that hasn't sensed any of this energy. Graboids win. There's still one left.
I'm going to go with the literal underdogs here. The graboids.
Yes!
Now, because he won,
I only
does
have
that
one
mean
left.
that there is only advancing one graboid into the next round? Okay.
Yes.
Sweet!
He goes right up there with, what was our choice for the hybrid? Something Dahmer?
Oh, I got it right here. It's,
What is it? Bundy
it's
Dahmer?
Sweeney Dahmer.
Sweeney Dahmer.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Be neat if they met in the finals. We'll see what happens.
No.
Well,
If Sweeney Dahmer beats zombies, he will be the bi character, and the bi character.
I'm the bi character.
How much? Wink, wink.
Enough.
So, depending on who wins next week, there is zombies versus Sweeney Dahmer and graboids versus 3 goblins. So whoever wins of those 2 rounds, that is the bi character to go into the final 4.
Technically only one graboid.
Yeah, 1 graboid. 1 graboid versus 3
Yep.
goblins. So whoever wins between those 4 matchups, those 4 characters, will advance into the final 4 automatically.
Nice. All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. All right, everybody. that is the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for downloading. This is part 1 of the Halloween Deathmatch. Stay tuned for part 2 coming next week. We record it next week. And that will come out after Halloween, probably. I'd say it would be after Halloween.
Yeah.
Because Tuesday's Halloween.
It'll be the week after Halloween.
Yes. So that will come out. If we record it on Wednesday, I'll probably try to get it out the next day. So it'll be right after Halloween, so no big deal. You'll still have Halloween Deathmatch Part 2. We have a lot more coming up. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for downloading. We fucking love the shit out of you. These are our greatest episodes we've ever come out with. I love them so much. I laugh at them every single time. We love you guys so much. Let's get out of here.
I love the both of you.
I love you too, Jeff.
We love you too, Jeff. And
nose ring and all.
That's the best part of you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
I know. Lead you away from a buffet.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you guys. We have been a steady 3 weeks in a row, about to be 4 weeks in a row.
And I fucking love it.
So thank you so much for listening. Like Ryan said, thank you so much for downloading. We appreciate you guys sticking around. Appreciate you guys that are still listening to us. And just share this podcast, get it out. We love for new listeners to come up. I love when people tell me that they love listening to us and they crack us up. And I'm like, why don't you spread the word, bro? Let's spread that fucking word.
Put it out there.
Church come.
Without further ado, thank you again, Jeff, for coming in and being the
Thank
judge.
you, Jeffrey.
This has been one of the greatest podcasts ever. Appreciate you so much for coming in. Do you have anything else to plug for us before we leave?
Not in particular. Just look out for your neighbors in these tough times. That's really all I gotta say.
Nope.
Go and follow Jeff. We plugged his stuff earlier. It is V-Town Moose on Twitter. He is 100% Twitter famous. Don't deny it. Go follow B-Town Moose on Twitter. Look out for all those catchy puns and all those catchy things that are going on. Follow everything that Jeff has to do. Love you, Jeff. Thank you so much for coming on this
Jeff
podcast,
is fucking
man.
great. Everybody loves Jeff.
We will see you all next week for part 2. Don't forget to go and get some Pumpking from Southern Tier Brewing Co. You know what? Just take it, set it on a shelf, room temperature, age it for a year. You will not regret it. Just one bottle, because that was absolutely a ridiculous, tasty start to the night. Thank you all so much again. We will see you all next week for part 2 of the annual Comcast Halloween Deathmatch. And don't forget, when life gets hard and life gets you down, you milk that motherfucking pig. Peace! We out!